other agencies, sir, but they have not yet presented themselves. And for our other resource persons, we have Mr. Jimmy Guban, Mr. Mark Taguba, Mr. Leopoldo Tan Jr., Mr. Fernando Magdadaro, and Police Colonel Hector Grijaldo. That's all for now, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors.
Thank you very much, COMSEC. The next part of the agenda for today's committee hearing is the approval of the minutes of the meeting held last January 21, 2025. Any motion?
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Akop?
may I respectfully move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the meeting held on 21 January 2025 and consider it as approved. So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes held last January 21, 2025 and consider the approval of the same. Any second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Hearing no objection, the motion is approved. Additional resource persons, Attorney Richard Palpal Latok from the Commission on Human Rights, the chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights, and another a member, Honorable Lord Dansuan of Cagayan de Oro. So, ladies and gentlemen, please allow this representation to deliver his opening remarks for today's committee hearing. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Senior Deputy Speaker Dong Gonzales, Honorable Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez, distinguished co-chairs and vice chair, honorable colleagues, fellow public servants, resource persons, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Today is a historic day for the 19th Congress, for this is the 15th and final public hearing of the Joint Committee composed of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights, and Public Accounts. What we have all witnessed in the Quadcom investigations are almost unbelievable. One for the replays, with unnerving twists and turns, bloody conspiracies, unexpected seeming coincidences, leaving behind a gruesome trail of blood, making all mafia movies look tame and boring. Yet with one cohesive plot that makes any conspiracy theory, Hollywood and James Bond movies combined pale in comparison. Taken together, it is fair to say that we didn't know what hit us. Taken together, there can be no other logical conclusion than, yes, the Chinese raped us, but we helped them rape us. Bayan ko, binihag ka, nasadlak sa dusa. The words betrayal, traitors, unpatriotic are not enough to describe the despicable, wicked, and perhaps even evil acts of collaboration that some of our leaders, elected officials, and civil servants extended to these criminals. The inquiry conducted in aid of legislation confronted some of the most alarming and deeply rooted threats to our nation. Extrajudicial killings as a result of a much publicized drug war, the illegal drug trade then and now, and the illicit operations of POGOs sponsored by and courtesy of Executive Order Number 13. Throughout the course of our investigation, the committee has painstakingly unraveled a network of interrelated crimes that undermine our national security, erode the rule of law, and threaten the very foundations of our sovereignty. The findings are deeply troubling, indisputable, and call for urgent, decisive action. On the matter of POGOs, our hearings established that their rapid growth was triggered by the issuance of Executive Order Number 13. Although these operations were initially presented as engines of economic growth, promising jobs and foreign investments, those benefits were quickly overshadowed by a surge in various criminal activities. POGO hubs have evolved into breeding grounds for transnational crime. Human trafficking, crypto scams, money laundering, identity fraud, torture, and even murder. Our hearings revealed that these hubs have harbored fugitives such as Wang Ziyang, the owner of the Hongsheng Gaming Technology, as well as Zhang Ruijin and Lin Baoying, both convicted in Singapore for money laundering. Perhaps the most alarming case is that of former Banban Mayor Alice Go, unmasked as Go Waping, allegedly a Chinese national who infiltrated our political system using fraudulent documents. This is not merely an immigration violation. It is a serious threat to our national security. Quadcom uncovered a disturbing pattern involving the fraudulent acquisition of Philippine citizenship by foreign nationals, often facilitated by falsified civil registry documents, and in many cases, with the willing participation and even facilitation of public officials, making them complicit in the commission of these crimes. Individuals such as Go Waping, Willie Ong, Edita Yang, Tony Yang posed as Filipinos, allowing them to acquire land, control corporations, and operate under the guise of legality, effectively circumventing our laws on nationalization and foreign ownership. One of the most telling examples is the Empire 999 Realty Corporation. As uncovered by this committee, it is composed of foreign nationals posing as Filipino citizens and is directly linked to the seizure of 3.6 billion worth of methamphetamine or shabu from a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga. Following our investigation, the Securities and Exchange Commission revoked the company's registration. Empire 999, along with affiliates like Lucky South 99, has been tied to a broader criminal network engaged in drug trafficking, land grabbing, human trafficking, investment scams, and money laundering. These are not isolated incidents. The evidence paints a clear picture of a well-coordinated Chinese criminal syndicate operating through layers of corporate entities, nominee shareholders, and corrupt public officials. Prominent figures such as Michael Yang, also known as Hong Ming Yang, and Wei Xiong Lin are repeatedly linked to this network through entities like Farmally Corporation and Piley Holdings, names that have surfaced not only in POGO-related investigations but also in our probes into the illegal drug trade. Equally pressing is what we have uncovered regarding the so-called war on drugs under the Duterte administration. Launched with the promise of eradicating criminality in 3 to 6 months, this campaign devolved into a state-sponsored bloodbath that normalized extrajudicial killings as a policy. Our hearings confirm the existence of a reward system in which police officers were incentivized through cash or promotions or favorable assignments for neutralizing individuals listed in the so-called narco list. The narrative was chillingly consistent. Suspects supposedly fought back, nanlaban, thereby justifying the use of lethal force. We have also heard credible accounts of how inclusion in the narco list was used to settle personal and political scores, destroying reputations, careers, and lives without due process. It was a war not only on drugs, but in many cases on justice itself. The numbers speak for themselves. Official PNP records report 7,640 deaths during police operations from July of 2016 to June of 2022. Human rights organizations estimate that the real figure could be as high as 30,000. Whatever the final tally, the testimonies we have received, often harrowing, sometimes from law enforcement officers themselves, confirm a systematic pattern of abuse where legal safeguards were discarded and human lives were treated as expendable. We heard chilling accounts from the families of victims, from rights defenders, and from former officers who admitted their participation in extrajudicial killings, like the assassination of Attorney Wesley Barayuga, an official of the PCSO and retired military general. We also gave voice to individuals unjustly included in the narco list, helping them reclaim their dignity and seek redress. Let me be clear, these are not mere allegations. Our findings are anchored on official documents, sworn testimonies, financial records, land registries, corporate filings, and in some cases, direct admissions. The record is clear and damning. The duty now falls upon us to ensure that these findings lead to real consequences. We must develop these findings into laws and policies that will dismantle criminal syndicates, hold public officials accountable, reform our law enforcement institutions, and restore faith in justice and the rule of law. Mula sa mga drug lords sa pangunguna ni Michael Yang, na ni minsan ay hindi humarap sa pandinig, salamat sa kanya mga Pilipinong abogado, hanggang sa pagkalat ng mga illegal na droga na bumibiktima ng mga Pilipino na walang awang pinatay upang pagkakitaan at sa paglaganap ng Philippine state-sponsored Chinese POGOs na nagsilbing taguan ng mga kriminal at mga salaping kinita sa illegal na droga na pinambili ng mga lupa, pinangsuhol sa mga politiko, ginamit sa eleksyon noon at ngayon, at pambayad sa mga traidor na politiko at kawani ng gobyerno kapalit ng kanilang tulong at pakikipagsabwatan upang mabigyan ng huwad o pekeng pagkakakilanlan ang mga dayuhang kriminal. Nakakagulat malaman na ang lahat ng ito ay coordinated o magkakaugnay na para bang may isang tagakumpas at ang lahat ay sumusunod. Nakakapanindig balahibo ang mga natuklasan ng Quadcom. Masalimuot, subalit nahimay natin at napagtagpi-tagpi ang lahat. Balikan ninyo ang mga pangalan ng mga personalidad na binanggit at nasangkot sa lahat ng usapin. Hindi sila mga ordinaryong Pilipino o ordinaryong politiko. nakakagimbal at nakakatakot. Sila ang magkakasabwat sa natuklasan ng Quadcom. At ang tanong ngayon sa ating mga sarili, ano na, Juan de la Cruz, saan katatayo? Maraming salamat at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. On behalf of my co-chairs, I welcome you to the 15th Quadcom hearing. To my colleagues, resource persons present in this hall today, and to the viewers on our live stream. Matanong ko nga po kayo, tapos na nga po ba ang POGO? O ito ay nagtatago lamang sa ibang anyo at pangalan? Nakalipas ang ilang buwan mula ng unang public hearing ng Quadcom sa Bacolor, Pampanga noong August 16, 2024. Noong September 5, 2024 naman, inutos ng Pangulo ang agad-agad na pagbabawal ng POGO sa bansa sa pamamagitan ng Executive Order No. 74. Sa ngayon, sinampahan na ng mga kasong money laundering at qualified human trafficking ang mga pangunahing personalidad sa POGO, tulad nila Guo Waping na dating mayor ng Bambantarlac, si Catherine Cassandra Ong at Atty. Harry Roque at marami pang iba. Sa ating pagdinig ngayong umaga, muling inimbitahan ng Quadcom ang Anti-Money Laundering Council, ang Department of Justice, ang Interagency Council Against Trafficking o IACAT, at ang Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission o PAOCC upang bigyan tayo ng mga updates ukol sa mga kasong isinampa na laban sa mga personalidad ng POGO. Ayon sa PAOCC, tuloy-tuloy at lagana pa rin ang operasyon ng POGO at higit sa 10,000 mga POGO workers ang nananatiling at large dito sa ating bansa. Sa ating nakaraang mga hearing, na ipakita ng PAOCC ang kanilang pagiging proactive sa mga law enforcement operations laban sa mga illegal ng Anti-Offshore Gaming Operation Act. Layunin ng panukalang batas na magtakda ng ilang matitibay at di matitinag na probisyon laban sa muling pagsulpot ng mga POGO sa bansa. Sa ilalim ng House Bill No. 10987, ipapawalang bisa ang dalawang batas na may kaugnayan sa offshore gaming, ang Executive Order No. 13 na ipinalabas ng panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte at ang Republic Act No. 11590 o ang batas na nagtatakda ng buwis para sa mga POGO. Upang maiwasan ang pagbabalik ng offshore gaming operation sa anumang anyo, dapat nating ipatubad ang mahigpit na polisiya laban sa mga POGO sa anumang anyo nito. Kabilang dito ang pagsasara ng mga butas sa batas, pagpapatibay ng mga kontrol sa imigrasyon at sa mga entry at exit points sa bansa, at mas matatag na koordinasyon sa pagitan ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno, bangko at intelligence units. Bagamat nakasuhan na ang mga ilang personalidad na nasa likod ng human trafficking, money laundering at iba pang mga krimen kaugnay ng mga operasyon ng POGO, ang mga banyagang sangkot na maituturing na masterminds dito, gaya nila Wang Xiyang, Duaren Wu at Michael Yang, ay hindi pa nahahanap ng mga otoridad. Para hindi na muling makaporma ang POGO sa anumang anyo sa ating bansa, nararapat na ating siguraduhin na hindi sila makakapagtago sa likod ng pekeng negosyo. May tiwala ako sa ating mga kapulisan at iba pang law enforcement agencies na hindi sila bibitaw sa kanilang tungkulin. Chief Nicolas Torre, malaki po ang inyong responsibilidad laban dito sa POGO. 10,000 po ang mga POGO operators na nagkalat pa po sa ating bansa. Sa inyong tapang at kisig, alam po namin na itong pong 10,000 ito ay mahuhuli natin. Ganoon din po kay General Gilbert Cruz at ang ating pang ibang mga ahensya. Inaasahan po namin ang inyong masusi at malawakang pagpapairal ng ating pong sinumpang tungkulin. Sa mga small POGO operators, ito yung mga tinatawag natin ngayon ng mga backyard. Backyard na lang ginagawa po nila, pero patuloy po sila nag-ooperate. Na nagtatago ngayon, umanda kayo. Sa masangkot sa human trafficking, money laundering, scam, torture, kidnapping, at iba pang mga kababuyan na nagtatago sa ibang bansa, may araw din kayo. Hahabulin kayo ng batas at hindi ito titigil hanggang makulong kayong lahat. Walang pakialam ang batas kung opisyal ka noon o may koneksyon ka ngayon. Mananagot ka pa rin sa mga kalupitan na hinayaan mong gawin sa kapwa mo kababayan. Panalo ka man noon sa POGO, ngayon, tapos na ang laro. Ngayon, hustisya naman ang mananalo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Dan Fernandez. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Human Rights, ably represented by the Vice Chair, Congressman Zia Jong. You are now recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Before I read the prepared remarks, opening remarks of Chairman Abante, Mr. Chair, I'd just like to inform the public, and especially my constituents, that should I quote a biblical passage throughout the speech, it does not necessarily express my own political, religious views. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. Mr. Chair, esteemed colleagues, our courageous and principled resource persons, and fellow servants of the people. This is the final hearing of the Quad Committee, but let no one say that this is the end. No. This is just the beginning of justice, the beginning of reform, the beginning of national repentance. Today we stand at the edge of a long and winding road, scarred by injustice, darkened by silence, but now illuminated by the truth that we laid bare. What began as a search for answers has evolved into a reckoning. Through these hearings, we have not merely uncovered wrongdoings. We have brought these evils into the light, where they can no longer hide behind rank, uniform, or position. These halls have heard the cries of the voiceless and the powerless, and their echoes will resound in the laws we have forged and the path we have opened for the law to take its course. For we have exposed not just wrongdoings, but a system that allowed evil to thrive. We have heard accounts that chilled the soul, of lives discarded like refuse, of uniforms used to conceal lawlessness, of badges used as instruments of fear. But we did not turn away. We listened, we dug deep, and most importantly, we acted. Hindi lang tayo nakinig, hindi lang tayo naawa, tayo ay kumilos. Out of this darkness, we brought forth the light of legislation. We filed measures to close the gaps that allowed impunity to reign. Among them, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, House Bill number 10986, which classifies and punishes extrajudicial killing as a heinous crime and provides reparations to the families of its victims, those whose only crime was to be poor, voiceless, and in the wrong place at the wrong time. House Bill number 10987, which prohibits all forms of offshore gaming operations, finally ending the national scourge that is POGO, an enterprise soaked in blood, corruption, and human misery. Inaasahan po natin na ito ay may papasa bago matapos ang 19th Congress. House Bill number 11043, which allows the civil forfeiture of real estate unlawfully acquired by foreign nationals, ensuring that this land, our land, cannot be bought with lies and false identities. House Bill number 11117, which empowers the state to administratively cancel birth certificates fraudulently obtained by foreigners, reclaiming our national identity from those who have abused our laws. And House Bill number 10998, which punishes the conspiracy and proposal to commit espionage, a timely warning to those who dare compromise our sovereignty and security. All this, Mr. Chairman, has been possible because good people chose not to be silent. All this, lahat ito, we owe to those who dared to speak when it was easier to remain silent. I thank my fellow chairs and colleagues who stood firm through doubt and pressure, some of whom have paid the ultimate political price for their principles. I thank the brave witnesses, whistleblowers, survivors, patriots who told the truth even when the truth could cost them everything. But let the record also show, there were those who lied. There were those who fled, those who twisted the truth, who buried evidences, who used power not to protect the people, but to shield themselves from the people's judgment. To them, I say, your day will come. To them, we say this, you may escape our reach, but not the long arms of the law. The law may sometimes move slowly, but it moves. And justice, true justice, never forgets. This is the message of the Quad Committee hearings, that in an age of moral compromise, we chose to stand firm. That even when evil seemed entrenched and overwhelming, we did not turn away. Through our work, we have reminded every evildoer, every coward in uniform, every merchant of death and deceit, your time is up. The legacy of the Quad Committee is not a single law, not a single report, but a declaration. No more. No more shall this republic tolerate murder disguised as law enforcement. No more shall our laws be twisted to serve the greedy and corrupt. No more shall we allow evil to grow in silence, fed by fear and impunity. We have learned, and because we have learned, we will not allow these evils to return. This is the work of public service. This is the burden and the blessing of those called to both preach and to legislate. And as long as I draw breath, I will speak out, stand firm, and fight on. God bless our work, and may God bless the Republic of the Philippines. Congressman Benny Abante, Chairman of the Committee on Human Rights. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Congressman Zia. The next and finally the last to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Accounts. Congressman Paduano, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. My co-chairs have already outlined the reasons behind the formation of this squad committee and have clearly explained why it is urgent and timely to address the societal problems that have come to light in our hearings. So I will not no longer go in that direction. What I would like to emphasize is that while our investigation has implicated several Chinese individuals in the issue at hand, this should not in any way be construed as state-sponsored racism against our fellow citizens of Chinese descent or nationals from mainland China. Our government must never be used as a tool to oppress or discriminate against any particular ethnicity or nationality. On the contrary, we have consistently encouraged kindness, respect, and responsiveness toward people of all backgrounds. Amidst the growing tension over the West Philippine Sea issue, we must confront the reality that there are both Filipino citizens and Chinese nationals who have allowed themselves to be used to undermine our institutions and sow division among our people. They may not be many, but the impact of their treason is deeply felt across the nation. Just this year, several Chinese, along with their Filipino cohorts, were apprehended by authorities for engaging in espionage activities targeting our vital facilities. Just imagine, our government spends billions to modernize our defense facilities, purchase advanced radar systems, and acquire modern fighter jets and missiles. Yet, in an instant, this expensive equipment could be swiftly destroyed by cheap drones operated by the spies if they were ordered to do so. This illustrates the gravity of the problem we face. This is why I'm thankful that through the Quad Committee, we fulfilled our duty by uncovering these critical issues and bringing them to public attention for greater awareness. Through the collaboration of various government agencies, our government now can respond to the blatant intrusion of foreign influence into our nation. But as we confront these emerging military threats, it is equally important to address those we have already unearthed in the course of our inquiry, such as the activities of certain Chinese nationals who aim to sabotage our economy and corrupt our government personnel. As you know, the numerous hearings we conducted reveal that these unscrupulous individuals would deliberately resort to illegal means in an attempt to lend a semblance of legitimacy to their unlawful intentions. In fact, it was the Committee on Public Accounts that first uncovered the scheme orchestrated by these Chinese nationals who fraudulently secured Philippine birth certificates to unlawfully exercise rights exclusive to Filipino citizens. Through this deception, they managed to acquire vast tracts of land in various parts of the country, such as in the case of Eddie Yang and Willie Ong in Mexico, Pampanga. These individuals, falsely claiming to be Filipinos, successfully acquired several parcels of land in the municipality and subsequently utilized these properties for the commission of other unlawful activities, such as drug trafficking. If you will recall, in September 2023, authorities raided the warehouse owned by Empire 999 Incorporated, seizing 3.6 billion worth of shabu. Notably, Eddie Yang and Willie Ong were both incorporators of Empire 999. Naturally, such operation could not have been carried out without the complicity of certain public officials and government personnel who appeared to prioritize their self-serving interests over national security. Records indicate that none other than the former mayor of the municipality, Mayor Teddy Tumang, facilitated some of these questionable transactions. In fact, during a separate hearing, it was revealed that Mayor Tumang, together with the Sangguniang Bayan of Mexico, Pampanga, dubiously reclassified a parcel of agricultural land as a commercial property, thereby inflating its market value. This property was eventually owned by Eddie Yang, who subsequently sold the same to the municipality an exorbitantly higher price, suggesting possible collusion between these dubious individuals and local government officials, all to the detriment of the people of Mexico, Pampanga. The case of Mexico, Pampanga, frustrating as it may be, tell us that there is still much to uncover in this issue. But as we continue in our pursuit of truth, we must also seek justice and demand accountability. While we rightly condemn the outsiders who have corrupted our nation, we must also hold in equal contempt our fellow Filipinos who enabled and aided these individuals in carrying out their malicious intentions. Sa huli, tiyak akong may mananagot. There is a Filipino expression, ginisa sa sariling mantika. That is precisely what's happening to us. They exploit our own people to generate income and then use that income to undermine our sovereignty inside our territory. With a growing number of similar incidents around the world and reports alleging that organized Chinese criminal syndicates support the Chinese Communist Party to regain favor, it is not difficult to suspect that their operations in our country may be carried out with the tacit approval of certain CCP members. Let me be clear, we are not accusing the Chinese government of any direct or official involvement in these activities. However, it is plausible that these criminal syndicates are operating in collusion with certain members of the Chinese Communist Party. If you recall, it was uncovered during our hearings that Wan Renwo, a prominent POGO operator, was a former Chinese police officer. This was based on the testimony of Kasi Ong, who also mentioned that Wo had previously worked for a government agency in China. These facts alone raise serious questions about these connections and potential motives. But we are not alone in this struggle. Standing with us, our fellow Filipinos, including our Chinese Filipino community who fully support our cause. Let us all acknowledge the many Chinese nationals residing here legally and honorably. I am confident they far outnumbered those engaged in any wrongdoing. No foreign government or its influence can undermine the unity and deep love and respect we hold for one another in this country. I welcome the direction of our government is currently taking in strengthening ties with like-minded nations. In our own little way, the work of this Quad Committee has played a meaningful role in shaping the country's policy to growing regional threats and internal vulnerabilities. Slowly but surely, the government is addressing the loopholes and shortcomings uncovered by this joint committee through the crafting of more modern and responsive legislation, as well as through the proactive efforts of the executive branch, which continues to modernize our institutions and strengthen alliances with other democratic nations. For that, I am proud to be part of this endeavor. In parting, I encourage all Filipinos to remain vigilant, discerning, and inquisitive. Most importantly, to seek a deeper understanding of the issues at hand. It is your duty as a Filipino to get involved and stay informed. Ultimately, the informed citizenry is our strongest defense against misinformation and foreign control. Maraming salamat po. God bless the Philippines.
Thank you very much, Congressman Paduano. Before we proceed, may I ask the members, bago po tayo mag-proceed sa ating interpellation, let me just guide our members that ang una pong nating topic ay yung topic tungkol sa POGO, and then drugs, and then extrajudicial killings. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask on these particular topics, please call the attention of the committee secretary and have your name listed as one of the interpellators. Meron na pong nakalista rito ng mga mag-interpellate. But before that, punta muna tayo sa admin matters. There are some admin matters that we can dispose of so that we can proceed with the interpellations. Congressman Paduano, you are again recognized.
Have we acknowledged all the members and the resource persons?
Yes,
and, take their oath, those first time that attended
the
hearing?
committee secretary has already recognized them earlier while you were out, Mr. Chair.
No, I didn't go out. How about the oath of the
Those who have not taken their oath, can you please raise your hand? Yung hindi pa ho nakapag-oath dito sa committee ito, please stand up. And COMSEC, please administer the oath of our resource persons.
Chair, Mr. Chair, just a parliamentary inquiry. In the case, Mr. Chair, of Chief Torre, I think his first time to attend the Quadcom he was not at that time the Chief PNP. And now that he's the Chief PNP, should we require him to take his oath as a Chief PNP? And congratulations, by the way, General Torre.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you. Comsec, please proceed.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth in this congressional inquiry, so God may help you? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You may now have your seats. Congressman Paduano, for the admin matters.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Barbers, Ace Barbers, the lead chair of this honorable committee. First, Mr. Chair, we are in receipt a copy of a letter coming from Police Brigadier General, the acting DIDM director from the PNP, Police Brigadier General Matthew Bakay, with regards to the documents being requested to the PNP to submit in this honorable committee, and with us now a copy of all those documents, namely number 1, investigation report on PNP anti-illegal drugs in Payatas on August 15, 2016. Number 2, the PNP Internal Affairs ES Metapropria investigation on anti-illegal drugs that resulted in the death of drug suspects. Number 3, PNP silver crime or SOCO data on illegal drugs-related cases under investigation from July 1, 2016 to June 30, 2022. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, the PNP comprehensive report and evidence logs from the PNP SOCO regarding the Domoy raid. We have now a copy, and it was being secured by the COMSEC, Mr. Chairman. And we'd like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the PNP, especially to the new leadership. Congratulations. And PNP Chief Torre, thank you for submitting all those documents under your watch now. Now, let me proceed with the documents that was submitted to us by the LRA, the land ownership, lands owned by the aliens. It was just submitted today from the LRA. Thank you for the submission, ma'am, sirs. From the Pampanga Assessor's Office, the lands owned by aliens in Pampanga, it was also submitted today. And all the documents on the Numoy raid involving 11 or 9 Chinese nationals that was submitted to us by the Bureau of Immigration. We are also in receipt a copy of the letter, issues letter coming from the DILG Secretary, and for the reason why he regret to be present in this hearing because of a schedule or official trip which he could no longer forego. And with us, I think there's a representative from the DILG. Is he present today?
Any representative from the ILG? Okay.
Please take a seat. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And we are also in receipt of a copy of the excuse letter coming from Director Jaime Santiago of the NBI, but now he's being represented by RD Ferdinand Lawin, Attorney Lawin, Attorney Jonathan Galicia, and Attorney Santiago, and of course, Attorney Gamontak. Thank you for coming, sir, on behalf of Director Santiago. And Mr. Chairman, what is important today is that until now, I have not seen the presence of one of the most important resource persons in this hearing, Colonel Villena. Is he now present? Colonel Villena is present.
Colonel Villela.
Villela.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Police Major General Constancio Chinayag Jr., the Director for Personnel and Records Management. We just received the certificate of confinement for Colonel Villela. He was confined at the Madonna Medical Center in Kidapawan City since June 7, 2025. He was admitted at around 9:50 p.m. and the diagnosis is to consider acute coronary syndrome. Your Honor, thank you.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, with that response coming from the PNP, we'll just discuss on the latter part of this hearing, no, because Colonel Villela is very important in today's last and final hearing of this honorable committee, and of course the presence of the testimony supposedly of Captain Anoba. Is he present now? Comsec? May I move, Mr. Chair, that we order the Comsec to please communicate with Captain Anoba for his presence in today's hearing. Now, Mr. Chairman, let me proceed with the pending admin matters, important admin matters that should be discussed today. In the case of, I will first discuss about the status of PDLs, Leopoldo Tan Jr., Fernando Magdadaro, Mark Taguba, and Jimmy Guban. Mr. Chairman, I move to defer discussion with regards to the status of PDLs because we still have to get the position and opinion of the concerned agency, in this case, the Bucor and the DOJ, Mr. Chairman. I will just ask them when the time comes, no, on their part. Now, and PDL, Jed Pilapil C, Jong Pilapil, which they are now at the PICOL. Now, we'll just also discuss in the latter part when the time of the DOJ and the Bucor will be discussed. Now, Mr. Chairman, there is a pending subpoena order for PSMS Jeremy Tox Kausapin unserved and at large. Duan Renwo, unserved and at large. And of course, Mr. Chairman, important ambit matters with regards to the contempt order that was issued to Colonel Grijaldo and currently detained at FNPQC Station 6 Station at the Batasan. His contempt order says until, just for the information of everyone, and that includes the resource person and the members of this committee, the contempt order states that until the termination of this inquiry. Now, with regards, number 2 is the contempt order that was ordered to spouses Myla and Harry Roque, which is at large, issued contempt orders but not served, and until now they're at large. Same is true with Arthur Nasoles. The contempt order was also issued but still at large. And of course, a very controversial person in this country, Michael Yang, was also issued a contempt and detention order by this Honorable Committee on the Dangerous Drugs and still at large. Mr. Chair, with that, may I respectfully move that all these admin matters be discussed on the latter part of this hearing, Mr. Chairman. But before we move on that motion, Mr. Chairman, with this representation, let me just quote with regards to contempt orders issued by Congress, by the lower house and the upper house, or the bigger house, especially the Senate. Now, let me quote, Mr. Chairman, some section of the cases with regards to contempt orders. In the Balag versus Senate, Mr. Chairman, GR number 234-608, dated July 3, 2018. Let me quote, Mr. Chairman. Evidently, the committee report is the culmination of the legislative inquiry. Its approval or disapproval signifies the end of such legislative inquiry, and it's now up to the Senate whether or not to act upon the said committee report in the succeeding order of business. At that point, the power of contempt simultaneously ceases and detained witnesses should be released. As the legislative inquiry ends, the basis for the detention of the recalcitrant witness likewise end. To end the quote. Mr. Chairman, once again, may I respectfully move that all admin matters, especially the case, the contempt orders that was ordered to Colonel Grijaldo, the spouses Myla and Attorney Harry Roque, Arthur Nasoles, and Michael Yang will be discussed on the latter part of this hearing and before we finally concludes this inquiry in aid of legislation. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. There's a motion to defer discussion and disposal of the said stated admin matters at the latter part of today's hearing. Duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is carried. The discussion of the subject matter will be discussed later in the day. Now we proceed let me remind again the members, no, those who want to propound questions to our resource persons. Ang una pong topic natin ay topic tungkol sa POGO. So the first to interpellate, based on the list that I have, is Congressman Zia Adyong. So, Congressman Adyong, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, in the previous hearings of this Quad Committee, we uncovered many cracks in our system, loopholes that have allowed illegal POGO operations to thrive in the country, foreign nationals to own land through questionable means, illegal drugs to proliferate, even further, and worst of all, resulted to extrajudicial killings. Sa dami po ng ating nalantad, Mr. Chairman, naging malinaw po sa atin at sa publiko na maraming ahensya ang kailangan managot, maraming ahensya ang kailangan magtulungan at gumawa ng agarang akbang upang masupil at matigil ang ganitong kalakaran. That's why we've given clear and concrete recommendations during the previous hearings to the concerned agencies, government agencies, based on the testimonies and evidences we have gathered throughout our hearings, Mr. Chair. So ngayon pong palapit ng pagtatapos nitong 19th Congress, gusto po natin makasiguro na hindi nasasayang o hindi masasayang ating pinagpaguran at mga natuklasan po natin. Hindi po ito dapat manatiling papel lamang o ulat sa committee archives. Kailangan po natin ng aksyon. We want accountability, of course, and we want the assurance that the necessary steps are already being taken by our government agencies, Mr. Chair. So let me ask generally, a generic po na question. I believe in the case of POGO operations, because a few months ago, I guess last year, the President has already given his stand in position very, very clear to the public, instructing that the POGO operation should cease to operate. That's very clear. In fact, there are also instances we've seen in the news that they're trying to crack down all the POGO operations. But despite the effort that the government has in place, there are still quite a number of packets of illegal POGO operations. So that is how serious this problem is. But because despite the efforts of this administration, to subdue the illegal operations. Still, kung sa cancer, kung sa sakit ito, Mr. Chair, it has metastasized to other illnesses. Nagiging packets na lang sila ng illegal operations. So I'd like to ask po, because based on the previous hearings, we have recommended certain steps to be taken by the national agencies concerned. I'd like to, pasensya na General Torre kasi ikaw ang sikat dito sa amin eh. I'd like to ask you, perhaps give us an update on how the PNP continues to crack down these illegal POGOs. There are certain illegal operators, mga small scale pockets of illegal operation now still continue to operate. What can you give us as an update, Mr. Chair, General Torre?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, on the question. Allow me to, as of the moment, point fingers to my very snappy upperclassman and head of the PAC, the PAOCC, Yusek Gilbert Cruz. We are together actually in tandem because in POGO operations, there are various laws that are being violated. So CIDG, PNP being represented primarily by the CIDG, are usually made the affiance of so that we can obtain a search warrant that will be used in entering these operations, together with the Bureau of Immigration and the other entities as may be necessary. We are also operating jointly with other law enforcement agencies like the NBI, and in the aftermath of the investigation, we also work with the AMLAC for the financial investigations and many other, depending on the cases that we find. But most of the time, we are being led by PAOCC because they are the ones having the machinery, especially the intelligence, and most especially, of course, the funding requirements. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I direct my question to Yusek?
Mr. Chairman, with the indulgence of
Yes,
Congressman
please.
Adjong, I think Yusek Gilbert have a presentation. Can we allow his presentation to be presented first before?
Certainly, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
So, if that answers the question of this representation, Mr. Chair, then I would move that we
Yeah,
allow.
I think this involves yung mga yung mga packet na mga operation ng mga POGO. So, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, but let me ask before we allow the PAOCC to show us their presentation. May I also get an assurance that you have already constantly communicating with our COMSEC when it comes to the development of your operation? Do you inform the COMSEC, this Quadcom, as to the development of your operation in terms of your POGO breakdown? I mean, POGO operation.
Yes, Mr. Chair. There are times that we submitted report to directly.
All of the findings, including...
But not recently, sir.
Okay.
But we can provide later, sir, the
Thank you.
report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Adyong. You're done with your questioning?
No, Mr. Chair. And I hope the presentation will not reduce the number
Okay.
of minutes that the Chairman
So,
gave me, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
we will now recognize the PAOCC and allow their presentation, and perhaps that could answer the query of the good Congressman Adyong. So, COMSEC and Secretariat, please play the video of PAOCC.
Good morning, honorable members of the House of Representatives, the Chair of the Joint Committees, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will share with you the latest updates regarding the country's ongoing fight against illegal Philippine offshore gaming operations, or what we call POGO. Today I will share with you the latest updates regarding the country's ongoing fight against illegal Philippine offshore gaming operations. Since the government took the divisive action to ban these operations, numerous developments have occurred, including enforcement efforts, legislative measures, and broader social economic impacts. This is where we stand now. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed Executive Order Number 74 in November 2024, officially banning all offshore gaming operations in the country, with the order taking full effect on December 31, 2024. Under this directive, the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission was tasked with leading the national crackdown, working closely with the Department of Justice, the Department of Interior and Local Government, the Philippine National Police, the National Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Immigration, the Anti-Money Laundering Council, and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Since the beginning of 2025, PAOCC has led at least 11 anti-POGO operations, resulting in the arrest of 750 foreign nationals. This is in addition to the anti-POGO operations conducted by partner agencies such as the NBI, the Philippine National Police, and the Bureau of Immigration. However, enforcement has become more challenging as large POGO hubs have been replaced by guerrilla setups. These are, Your Honor, small-scale POGO operations and operating within condominiums, hotels, residential areas, and gated subdivisions. In response, the DILG issued a memorandum directing all local government units to report suspicious activity and coordinate closely with the police authorities. The government's response was not limited to executive action. In February 2025, the House of Representatives approved House Bill number 10987 on second reading, while the Senate passed Senate Bill 2868 in June. These laws made offshore gaming operations unlawful, imposed stricter penalties, and held government officials accountable for any activities related to POGOs. They also granted enforcement agencies more tools to deport violators and dismantle the operations. To avoid the ban, some POGO operators moved their operations to other regions within the country, particularly in Visayas and Mindanao. Others left the country and resumed operation in countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos. There are also reports of relocation to lesser-known destinations with weak gaming laws, such as Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and the Republic of Vanuatu. If you're not familiar with the Republic of Vanuatu, it is at the South Pacific Ocean. It is a South Pacific Ocean nation with made up of roughly 90 islands, and it's in the west of PG and south of Solomon Islands and east of Australia. So hindi ko lang po alam, Mr. Chair, kung matutuwa po tayo dito, but itong report na to na there are reports of relocation to other countries. Ito po ay bunga nung ginawa nating investigasyon dito sa POGO. And actually, there were coordinations weekly being made by other countries in our office, checking on the procedures and yung strategy natin on how we counter itong problema ng anti-gambling and POGO in our country. So we are considered to be a model of countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, and even the UN, sir. Nagpunta po sa opisina namin to get the reports and the strategy that we did in countering itong problema ng POGO dito sa ating bansa. So, for the criminal networks and technology, underground POGO operations are now increasingly tied with wider criminal networks. According to the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, illegal gambling is often connected to cybercrime, human trafficking, and money laundering. Many now operate under the disguise of BPOs or tech firms, using advanced technology to run efficiently with fewer staff and less physical infrastructure. This shift has made detection more difficult for law enforcement agencies. These operations are often embedded within legitimate-looking businesses, and identifying them requires effective coordination, enhanced surveillance tools, and active participation of local communities. Of course, we need emphasis more on the whole-of-government approach na ginagawa po natin. Although this was effective in previous operations that we did, but I think we need more whole-of-nation approach dito sa mga susunod na operations natin, sir.
Excuse me, Yusek, with the indulgence of Congressman Adyong, para lang hindi lang ma-skip, you mentioned BPOs and tech firms.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, no?
Yes, sir.
So, have you identified sino yung mga BPO na yan at sino yung mga tech firms na yan sa base sa inyong investigation?
Yes, sir. Actually, the SEC has these records, and others are in the guise of call centers. If ever they transfer from a bigger hub to a smaller hub, they guise themselves as, halimbawa, sir, mag-apply ng mayor's permits. They will guise themselves as magtatayo kami ng call centers, and yun lang po, sir, yung ginagamit nila to cover up o magkaroon sila, sir, ng muka.
So, based dun sa mga investigation nyo, meron na kayo na-charge? Meron na ba kayo na-file ng kaso?
Yung
na
mga ibang
firm?
nahuli po natin, sir, we base our investigation on the SEC documents that we secured.
Can you name the company that is
I don't have
being
the
charged?
record, sir, but
Sige.
I can
Okay.
give.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair, on that note, Mr. Chair, following the question of Chairman Barbers, what other requirements do they need to submit before they can up? Sabi mo kasi they normally go directly to the LGU and then the secure mayor's permit. But prior to that, what other do you think other documents or requirements that they need to secure for their to operate as a BPO or as a which agencies do they need to go to?
Yung ibang nahuhuli po natin, sir, practically wala na po silang dokumentong sinasubmit. And those who submitted documents are yung gusto lang maglagay ng cover, sir, doon sa gagawin nilang operation. But mostly, sir, na nangyayari ngayon are Ito sir kasi pa 10-10 hanggang 50 eh. When we talk of small-scale POGO operations, these are 10, 50, minsan 100. Hindi na sila sir kumukuha ng mga permits. Kasi nga sir, they want to work in secrecy.
Okay.
So ayaw nila nung nasusunog sila. Actually sir, yung pagkain na nila, nagpapahatid na lang sila ng pagkain. Unlike before na talagang nagpapagrocery pa sila. Now, nagpapahatid na lang sila ng pagkain and lagi may cut-off. If ever they will send, for example sir, in condominiums, bago makarating sa 10th floor, kung yun ang inupahan nila, doon muna sa 2nd floor o sa 3rd floor, tatanggapin yung mga pagkain or yung mga gamit sir, bago iakyat.
So yung mga, Mr. Chair, yung mga na-sequestered ninyo na mga dokumento, I'm sure meron naman ilan sa kanila na kunyari may papel, maski bogus lang. No? Have you verified that with the agency that is mandated to release all these documents and certificates? At nakita nyo ba kung sino, anong kumpanya ito, sino yung mga nasa likod nitong kumpanya na ito?
Meron po kaming mga ginawang investigations, yung mga nauna naming hinuli. But the other operation, I'm not so familiar dun sir sa operation na ginawa ng Philippine National Police and the NBI.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Later on, I will dig deeper into that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman
Ano lang ako, Mr. Chairman, kasi ito in relation to what we are discussing right now, no? Kasi nabasa ko sa news, yung Quezon raid yields 42 alleged POGO workers at doon sa resort sa barangay Villa Norte in Alabat, Quezon. Kasi Alabat, Quezon, island lang siya, di ba? Island. Bago ka makapunta doon sa island na yun, talagang it will take you how many minutes, no? Bago ka makaland doon sa Alabat, no? So ngayon, ang question ko, General Cruz, ano nangyari dito na 42 Chinese nationals suspected of being operator ng POGO? Were you able to see na talagang nag-ooperate sila doon sa island na yun?
Sir, Mr. Chair, the operation is a joint operation by the Philippine National Police, particularly the CIDG and Bureau of Immigration. And ang initial pong nakita doon, sir, as of May 5, on the updates na hinangi po namin regarding the 42 Chinese nationals, they are now in Bicutan immigration facility waiting for the NBI clearance because they will be subjected to deportation, sir. But as to the operation nila nung POGO operation, sir, hindi po siyata nakitaan ng POGO operation.
So hindi nakitaan to sa Alabat?
Yes.
Pero kasi merong binabanggit dito na nagko-construct na rin sila ng building for a future alleged operation as well.
Yes, sir. Yung po, sir, ang nakikita namin, parang ang nangyari is nagse-set up pa lang sila and then they were caught and arrested during that May 5 operation.
Pero yung nangyari sa Makati, yung sa, I think sa Yuchenko Tower building, di ba? So 188 yung mga nahuling, is this accurate?
Yes, sir. POGO operation po.
POGO talaga siya?
Yes, sir.
So isang buong building din or it caters ano lang? Kasi 188
That's, I think, sir, that's 5 floors ang nag-house po dyan sa 100 plus na mga POGO.
Yun nga tinatanong, ang sinasabi natin dito, Mr. Chairman, and even yung sa Pasay Hotel, ganun din.
Yes,
so
sir.
ito sa Pasay Hotel, nag-operate sila. Ito sa isang building na pag-aari ng
Yes, sir.
isang negosyante. Ito isang resort naman.
Yes, sir.
I think those who owns this property knows that kung ako, halimbawa, ako may-ari ng isang building, alam ko kung anong ipapasok nilang negosyo. There should be responsibility on their part as well, di ba?
Yes, sir. Actually, that's the importance, sir, nung participation ng local government units. Because practically, permits that being applied for here, sir, are permits coming from the local government units.
We have to be, general, no? Kasi nga, nag-ano na sila, guerrilla type na, no? So
Yes,
kung
sir.
guerrilla type, maliliit na to, there should be responsibility siguro doon sa mga nagkikater nito. Like, for example, itong building, itong hotel, itong resort. Anong pwede nating i-file sa kanila? Dahil nga, nakita natin na nag-connive sila dito, for sure eh. Imposible naman dumating yung mga Chinese nationals doon na hindi sila nag-iisip na ito ang ilalagay nila, mga POGO. Di ba? Meron ba tayong i-file doon sa mga may-ari ng properties?
I can check, sir, with the CIDG and, of course, the NBI.
Andiyan ba yung CIDG sa PNP? Para malaman po natin kung ano yung responsibility ng mga property owners. There should be, Mr. Chairman. Kasi nga, kung hindi natin lalagyan ng ganitong penalty itong mga owners, most likely, dadami talaga yan. Kailangan maging accountable din yung mga may-ari ng mga properties. Dahil nga, hindi naman po ganun kasimple na may darating na 188 na Chinese nationals, tapos hindi mo alam kung anong i-ooperate sa building mo, o kaya doon sa hotel mo, sa Pasay, o kaya doon sa resort mo. What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Chairman, dapat po meron silang culpability as well. Andiyan ba si IDG? Si IDG. So, meron ba tayong na-file or something to that effect, yung ating pong mga owners ng mga property ngayon?
Sir, good morning, sir. ang nakita ko lang sa record namin, sir, yung mga nahuhuli lang talaga namin, sir, during operation ang napapailan natin, sir. But with regard to the owner, sir, wala, sir.
In accordance with your policy, under CIDG, ano yung culpability ng mga ganitong mga owner? Kasi nga, pinagbawal na under Executive Order number 74 that was issued by the President. So kung merong issuance ng Executive Order number 74 ng President, it goes without saying that those involved in this POGO operation must be held accountable as well. Tama?
Yes, sir, we will try to check it with the sir,
So,
legal, sir,
I think,
papakalanan, sir.
thank you
Yes,
so much. So, I think si IDG, no, isama, PAOCC, isama yung mga may-ari, yung mga may property owners, para maging warning to sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan na maging wary sila doon sa mga magre-rent ng kanilang mga lugar. Dahil, hindi naman binabaliwala nila yung executive order issued by the President na bawal na ang operation ng POGO. And si IDG, this is your responsibility and PAOCC na those owners must be held accountable as well.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, we're doing the template, sir, na sinasabi niyo po, sir. In our previous cases, in the cases of Banban, Pogo, and the Porac, and the other big hubs, Pogo hubs that we raided, sir, pinapailan po natin, sir, ng kaso yung mga may-ari.
Yun lamang, Mr. Chairman, and I hope that in the next Congress, this will be tackled by the next members of the Quadcom, no, kung bubuin pa rin po to, para at least meron po rin tayong oversight power on this continued operation of POGO in a smaller scale.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Fernandez.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Yes, I think Yusek Cruz is not done with this presentation. Are you done with?
Not yet, sir.
Maybe allow him
Maybe
to continue.
another 5 minutes, sir.
Okay,
You
sige.
will allow it, sir.
Okay. Please proceed.
The underground POG operations are now increasingly tied to wider criminal networks. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, illegal gambling is often connected to cybercrime, human trafficking, and money laundering. Many now operate under the disguise of BPO companies or tech firms using advanced technology to run efficiently with fewer staff and less physical infrastructure. The shift has made detection more difficult for law enforcement. These operations are often embedded with legitimate-looking businesses, and identifying them requires effective coordination, enhanced surveillance tools, and active participation of local communities. The crackdown also strained government resources. Over 600 foreign nationals are currently detained in the PAOCC main facility in Pasay. Actually, itong facility po na to is a repurposed building. This is a former POGO hub na ginawa po nating kulungan at ginawang gamit din po para sa DSWD purposes. With a monthly expenditure of millions for food and healthcare, medical needs are rising with detainees diagnosed with illnesses like tuberculosis, hepatitis B, respiratory infection, and even cases of HIV. Actually, sir, dito po kami nalulumpo. Just 3 weeks ago, nagpa-cremate po tayo ng isang HIV victim. So, due to the overcrowding enforcement actions against the estimated 9,000, ito po yung kailangang hulihin natin. These are more than 9,000 illegal foreign workers have been temporarily suspended. Many detainees still cannot be deported due to missing passports. Ito po yung problema natin, sir, yung mga walang passports. Because yung mga foreign nationals na nagtrabaho po sa POGO, mga tinanggalan po ng passports yan. At yan, pakalat-kalat po ngayon dito sa Pilipinas. And we called it yung mga public charge. Pag nahuli po natin yan, tayo po ang kasi wala nga po mga passports na yan, sir. So marami pong nakakalat dito sa atin na mga public charge ng mga foreign nationals. Due to missing passports and coordination with foreign embassies to travel documents remains slow and inefficient. The economic impact is also visible. As of the third quarter of 2024, about 50,000 square meters of office space once occupied by POGOs have been vacated. The presence in Metro Manila office market has declined from 11% in 2020 to just 3.5% in 2024. Still, despite this shift, tourism has remained strong. So, hindi ho totoo na bumaba yung tourism natin dahil we focus on the neutralization nitong mga POGO. Tourism remains strong. 5.65 million international visitors were recorded in December 2024 and 1.65 million between January and March 2025. So, malakas pa po ang tourism natin. Showing that our law enforcement actions have not discouraged local visitors. In fact, the country is now viewed as a safer destination. To build on our progress and address ongoing challenges, we offer several key recommendations. First, we must strengthen interagency coordination by creating a centralized database for monitoring illegal operations and sharing real-time intelligence. Local government units should be equipped with proper training and resources to detect hidden POGO operations in their communities. Second, we must improve the fast-track the deportation process by working more closely with foreign embassies. Third, cyber surveillance capabilities must be enhanced to track operators and not relying much on the cases that we are filing. But we must focus more on our capabilities, cyber capabilities. Fourth, regional cooperations must be pursued more actively. Lastly, a nationwide public information campaign is needed to raise awareness about illegal offshore gaming operations and scam operations, as well as the role of the community reporting in stopping these activities. This is not only about removing illegal businesses, but also about protecting the country's integrity, ensuring public safety, and demonstrating to the world that the Philippines will not be a safe haven for crime. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga.
Okay, thank you, Yusek Gilbert Cruz.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, DSJJ, you are recognized.
Thank you very much. With the permission of Congressman Adyong. Mr. Chairman, I was just a little bit concerned dun sa mga binanggit ni Yusek Cruz. If I may be allowed, Mr. Chairman, to direct my questions to the resource person.
Please proceed.
Thank you very much. So, Yusek Cruz, nabanggit nyo na marami sa mga foreign nationals na undocumented ang ngayon ay nakakalat. Kung di ako nagkakamali, yung mismo ang binanggit nyo, no? Nakakalat sa ating bansa. Namomonitor nyo po ba yung whereabouts at kung nasan po sila?
Sa totoo lang po, sir, hirap po talaga tayo. We are only informed na may mga foreign nationals na nakakalat. Pag may tawag po sa amin, may report sa amin, or minsan, sir, pumupunta po sa opisina namin para sumuko. Kasi nga, sir, ganito po yung nangyayari. Wala po silang passport at wala silang malapitan. Hindi sila makapunta sa embassy dahil tinataboy sila dahil wala nga sila maipakitang passport. So sa amin po magpapaampon, and then we are the ones who coordinate with the embassy concerned para po tulungan sila. That's the only time, sir, na nagkakaroon ng dokumento yung mga foreign nationals na yun. But totoo po yun, sir. Marami pong nakakalat ngayon dito sa atin, sir, na wala hong dokumentong mga foreign nationals.
Kasi ito po, Mr. Chair, ang nakakabahala. No? Huwag natin kakalimutan na ang pinagmulan at ang dahilan kung bakit sila nandito ay para magpatakbo ng mga aktibidades na kinikonsider po nating illegal. Fishing, scamming, torturing, were just some of the activities that we found out that were happening within the POGO hub. Now that we have shut them down, we find them loose in our communities, loose in our societies. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Chairman, with the concern, kung illegal ang alam nilang gawin, illegal din ang gagawin nila pag sila po ay nakakalat. May mga lumalabas pong mga reports, Mr. Chairman, na yung ilan sa mga kidnapping activities na nangyari in the recent months were actually connected to POGO. Can this be confirmed by a resource person, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Yun po yung lumalabas sa investigation natin. Those who were involved in kidnapping cases na na-report po sa Philippine National Police are karamihan po, sir, mga POGO workers po.
So with that being said, Mr. Chairman, ang lumalabas po sa atin, nagbabago lang po ng anyo ang POGO, kaso lang illegal pa rin po ang pinapasukan nila at nagiging salot pa rin po sila sa ating lipunan. Kaya po napakahalaga para po sa akin, Mr. Chair, na ito pong mga undocumented, nakakalat, ay sana meron pong paraan na ginagawa ang ating mga ahensya upang siguraduhin na nalalaman po natin kung nasan sila, their whereabouts. We're properly monitoring their activities. We identify where they are. And if possible, proper mechanisms are set in motion and are in place to ensure na hindi po sila magiging pagmumulan ng mga problema sa ating mga komunidad. So gusto ko lang malaman, Mr. Chair, mula po sa PAOCC, meron po bang mga ginagawang hakbang ang ating pamahalaan upang siguraduhin ito?
Meron po, sir, but hindi po ganun kalaki at hindi ganun sabihin na natin, sir, hindi ganun ka-intensive. We only knew that a person is a wanted person, especially yung mga nahuhuli po natin involved sa POGO, pag nababiometrics na natin sila. So, ibig sabihin, sir, wala po tayo talagang database as to the profile of those foreign nationals na nakakalat ngayon. Kasi nga, sir, yung iba dito, accordingly, in the investigation that we did, yung iba rito talagang pumasok, sir, ng patago eh. So, hindi talaga naka-record sa atin. But now, since nagkaroon, sir, ng banning, talaga nagkalat na ho yan, sir, yung mga patago. And actually, sir, what we are doing now is we're trying to reconcile the records of DOLE and the records of the Bureau of Immigration. Kasi nga, sir, magkaiba eh. Mas malaki yung record, sir, ng pumasok at humingi ng document for working permit dun sa DOLE kaysa dun sa number na pumasok dito sa atin.
So, ang lumalabas po, Mr. Chair, parang we created, not naman we created, but a new problem was created because of the shutdown. Now, we have what we call the spread of illegal individuals leading to illegal activities apparent in our society. So I think this is a grave concern for our government, Mr. Chair, dahil nga unang-una meron na pong mga nabanggit si Congressman Dan kanina na mga micro POGO hubs na tinatayo sa mga buildings, may mga micro POGO hubs na natatayo sa ilang mga office spaces, may mga kidnap for ransom na nangyayari that are associated to POGOs. And of course, these are only those that we know about. E paano yung mga hindi nababalita? Paano yung mga hindi na ikukwento at hindi nasusumbong? Siguro mas marami pa po yun. Kaya ang hamon ngayon para sa ating pamahalaan ay kung talagang gusto po natin solusyonan po ito, dapat we have to provide more resources, more budget, and more efforts to our law enforcement agencies, kasama na rin ng Bureau of Immigration at ng lahat po ng ating mga ahensya na napapasama po dito upang hanapin, malaman kung nasaan, i-document at siguraduhin na monitor po natin yung mga activities ng mga individual na ito. So, yun lamang, Mr. Chair, at mukhang may gusto pong idagdag si Congressman Fernandez.
Thank you, Congressman Suarez. Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair.
you're recognized.
Oo, kasi parang naisip ko lamang, kasi di ba ang government naman, and even sa ating mga kapulisan, sometimes nag-offer tayo ng parang semblance of amnesty. Di ba? Na parang sinasabi natin, kayo, mga undocumented kayo, pwede kayong pumunta sa PAOCC at sumerender kayo peacefully. Parang panawagan sa ating pong mga biktima rin. Yung iba kasi parang victims dito di ba? So I really don't know how it goes, no? General Cruz, is it possible that we can create a policy like this na yung iba naman napapunta dito, may mga naimbestigahan tayo na naloko sila eh. And now that dineklara natin silang illegal, so ang feeling nila, habulin na natin sila. But there are those na talagang victims. So why not try to have a pronouncement under PAOCC na catering all of these people na naging biktima noong mga Chinese operators. Or basically siguro kung 7,000 pa yan, ay napakadami niyan. So kailangan magkaroon tayo ng continuing policy para sa mga gustong talagang subuko na at umuwi na sa kanilang pinanggalingan.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, we have this idea. I don't know, sir, kung if the Philippine National Police will agree on this and the Bureau of Immigration. Just maybe, sir, DES. Kasi, sir, kailangan dito mabilis tayo, sir. Pag may sumuko po, sir, dapat may mag-aasikaso and then someone will coordinate. With that DES, they can go directly to the embassies. Kasi, sir, para magkaroon ng dokumento, sir, yung mga foreign nationals na ito, sir. And then, kung para mapadeport ka agad, sir, the more they stay here kasi, sir, mas nagkakaroon ng, let's say, gasto sa pagkain, medical. And I just like to inform the body, sir, na yung mga POGO workers, sir, nung pumunta rito, hindi naman healthy lahat yan, sir, Karamihan dyan, sir, yung iba kasi dyan, sir, may sakit na, sir, nung pumunta rito. That's why we have cases of tuberculosis, HIV. Pagpakalat-kalat yan, sir, hindi natin alam kung sino pa, sir, yung mga kinokontak niyan o nagkakaroon pa, sir, ng mga physical contact yan.
Can't you have a parang tripartite agreement with foreign affairs? That those who will surrender can have a outright
Yeah. As of today, we try to be resourceful, Mr. Chair. Kung ano lang po yung pwede namin gawin, like kung kailangan yung mga sumusuko po sa amin, hindi naman namin pwedeng itaboy, sir.
Andiyan ba foreign affairs? Have we invited Mr. Chairman ng foreign affairs? Ayan foreign affairs.
We did, yeah.
Pwede pa ba yan, Director Feliciano, that, halimbawa, sumuko sila, tapos undocumented, wala silang passport, anong gagawin ng foreign affairs about it?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and esteemed Congressman. The Department of Foreign Affairs usually coordinates and communicates closely with the diplomatic missions of the foreign governments. Now, if our government agencies send us a letter requesting for assistance, for example, to secure emergency travel documents for these nationals para mapauwi sila, we will communicate directly with the diplomatic missions. Because all governments, I believe, we have emergency one-way travel documents. Like, for example, in the case of Department of Foreign Affairs, we issue one-way travel documents para sa mga Pilipino, halimbawang distressed Filipinos who have lost their passports abroad. We issue one-way travel documents. So I believe this is also the policy with other foreign governments.
Pero kailangan din pong tanggapin ng host country. For example, China, kailangan may approval ang Chinese embassy. Ganun po ba yun?
Of course, the foreign government should be apprised and they should be willing to accept.
For example, yung mga nahuli dito, like for example, yung mga foreigners na, like for example, yung nangyari sa Singapore na wanted sa Singapore for money laundering. Hindi natin di mapapadala sa China kung wala silang approval? Ganun po ba yan?
Yes, sir. The foreign government should be willing to receive these.
So kung hindi sila willing tanggapin yon, yung foreigner na yon, andito siya.
Opo.
yan ang problem natin.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, I hope all those interjections will not be charged from my time.
Yes, let me put order, Your Honors, in the hearing today. Please wait for the chair to recognize you before you press your microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually,
So, thank you. You're done, DSJJ?
no, actually I was not done, Mr. Chair.
Okay, please continue.
Thank you, thank you. Nakakatawa lang kung kailan tayo magla-last hearing. Talagang di talaga nagbabago yung takbo ng Quad, eh, no? Ito lang, sa pagtatapos ko lang, Mr. Chair, maybe a suggestion to Yusek Cruz. Alam mo, Yusek, madali lang naman natin malaman kung mayroong mga undocumented o mga bagong mukha sa isang barangay, eh. Kung kakausapin natin at maglalabas ng direct order yung DILG, atasan yung mga mayors, atasan yung mga kapitan. Yung mga kapitan, araw-araw yan, umiikot yan sa barangay nila. Alam nila kung sino nandun, eh. That is one clear way to prevent any form of possible illegal activities that may happen to be conducted by quote-unquote illegal aliens simply because we're properly monitoring them. Now, we have around 43,000 barangay officials nationwide. Yusek Cruz, have you already reached out to the DILG and sought their assistance regarding reporting and monitoring of foreign immigrants or nationals that are undocumented in our country?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, marerecall ko po na naglabas na ng memorandum ang ating pong DILG as to that effect. But ang sabi ko nga, sir, dapat dagdag din po natin na yung mga barangay po ay dapat mag-issue po ng certification na walang POGO o illegal gambling doon sa kanilang nasasakupan. And then sabi ko nga, we can incorporate it as part of the requirement bago sila mabigyan, sir, ng certificate of good governance, sir. Yung certification ng seal of good governance.
Siguro, Mr. Chairman, isa po ito sa mga pwede natin ipakiusap sa DILG na isa sa mga positibong hakbang na pwede nila gawin upang siguraduhin na yung mga binanggit ni Yusek Cruz na kumakalat ng mga foreign nationals ay hindi maging salot sa ating lipunan at pagmulan pa ng ibang mga problemang illegal sa ating bayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. And I would like to just follow up on your gentle reminder to all our fellow colleagues. Please wait for the chair to properly recognize you before you speak on the mic. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you. Yes, Congressman Abante, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, sumunod na ako sa iyo, ha? Bago ko yung microphone ko. Anyway, I'm just kind of confused, Mr. Chair, sa binanggit ni Yusek Gilbert Cruz. Ano pong ibig sabihin nung pakalat-kalat? Ibig sabihin, hindi niyo pa nauhuli itong mga taong to?
Sir, nung magkaroon po tayo nung banning of POGO, and then yung iba po dyan talaga nagsara. Yung iba, we were receiving reports and coordination that nagtayo po sila ng yung mga POGO hubs nila dito nilipat sa ibang bansa. And others, gumawa po sila ng mga small scale POGO operations. And yung mga pakalat-kalat, sir, ito po kasi yung, nung malalaki pa po yung mga POGO, may mga POGO hubs pa, sir, they were forcefully, against their will, kinuha, sir, yung mga passport niyan, sir. So, tapos nung nagkaroon po, sir, ng banning, nagtakbuhan po yan. So hindi na ho nila nakuha yung mga passports nila. So ito po, sir, yung mga pakalat-kalat
niyan, hindi nyo alam kung nasan sila ngayon.
Yes, sir. Yung po, sir.
How about yung mga nagtayo ng mga maliliit na POGO? Ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, may mga pera yan, di ba? At alam nila, Mr. Chair, alam nila, kung may mga pera yan, alam nila yung mga pakalat-kalat
na walang mga passport sapagkat ginagamit pa rin nila yan. Am I right, Mr. Chair?
Tama po, sir. Especially those with the skills and talents pagdating sa mga computers.
So, hindi ba kayo, Mr. Chair, hindi ba kayo nakikipag-ugnay, for example, like CIDG o NBI, for example, tungkol sa mga bagay na ito? Kasi, narinig ko si Director Feliciano kanina na wala silang maaaring magawa kundi sumulat yung yung foreign government Di ba? Yun ang pagkakasabi mo, Director Leilani. Am I right? Oo. That's the only thing that you could be able to do something about it, di ba?
May I
Yes,
clarify, Mr. Chair? Thank you. If the concerned government agency communicates with us regarding a specific foreign national, whether distressed or, in this case, has committed crimes, we can and we will coordinate and communicate with the diplomatic mission in the Philippines so that they may issue the emergency travel document to that national para makabalik ho siya sa kanyang country. If the foreign government, of course, wishes to receive that foreigner. I wish to recall, if I may, but this is in a Senate hearing, I will recall this one instance. This was early this year during the closing of Senator Riza's hearings on POGO. There were several Chinese nationals who were deported by the Bureau of Immigration. And this is recorded. They were deported. However, the Bureau of Immigration, this is from my recollection, deported them not on a direct flight, but on a flight that has a layover. So what the Vietnamese government said at the time was they were not informed ahead of time that there were
Layovers.
yes, that there were several Vietnamese who are being deported because of their POGO-related activities. And so they were not able to receive these Vietnamese nationals. And what in fact happened was that these Vietnamese, instead of being deported to their country, they escaped.
Mr. Chair, who's reporting it to you? Sino nag-report sa inyo?
Senate hearing po ito. I remember it distinctly because the Vietnamese government sent a note verbal complaining that they were not informed ahead of time that there were several Vietnamese who will be going home or being deported as a result of these POGO activities.
Mr. Chair, ang nakakalungkot dito is para bang sa pakikinig ko kay Yusik Cruz, wala tayong masyadong magawa doon sa mga pakalat-kalat na mga foreign workers natin. We have the intelligence, we have the CIDG, we have the NBI, we have the DOJ, we have the Foreign Affairs, we have the Board of Immigration. Pero mukhang wala tayong halos magawa doon, Mr. Chair. Yusik Cruz, tama ho ba ako? Ano bang magagawa natin? Kasi it's going out of bounds actually. And later on, magiging national security issue na to So, ano bang pwede natin gawin dito? Nakakalito na at para bang inaamin natin sa ating mga ahensya ng ating gobyerno na wala na tayong magagawa at this time sa mga pakaalat-kalat na ito at sa mga nag-i-establish na maliliit na POGO hub na siguro kinakailangan unahin natin na tanggalin na rito. Because, look, Congressman Dan Fernandez already said na meron pa tayong around 10,000 na mga maliliit na POGO hub. So, gusto ko lang tanungin, Mr. Chair, si Yusik Cruz, kung ano ang nagawa ng PAOCC tungkol dito sa mga almost 10,000 na mga na-establish na maliliit na POGO hub, na palagay ko, alam nyo ang mga address. Alam nyo kung saan naroroon.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ikwento ko lang po yung practice na nangyayari, sir. We receive, of course, intel reports, sir. Yung mga intel reports, out of the intel reports and intel packets, ina-actionan po natin. Pero mas kailangan po natin dito, sir, yung sinasabi nating whole of nation approach. Particularly, sir, yung mga mayors po natin, sir, and even the barangays. Kasi po sila, sir, yung nakakaalam. Tama po yung sinabi ni Congressman Dan Fernandez kanina, sir. Alam po nila kung ano yung nangyayari sa loob, sa barangay or sa local. And if they will not participate, sir, in this endeavor, sir, hindi ko talaga malalaman kaagad-agad ng kapulisan. Although,
Therefore, Mr. Chair, pero pa kayong salita, kailangan nyo rin ang coordination ng DILG. Natama yung sinabi nyo na dapat magkaroon ng all of the agencies supposed dito. No? So therefore, kung kailangan natin ng mga barangay, kailangan natin ng mga LGUs tungkol dito, we could be able to tap DILG for help. Am I right, Mr. Chair? So have you done that? Have you talked to the DILG concerning this problem? Because this is beginning to be a real problem, as I've said, Mr. Chair. This later on will become a national security issue.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, we started with LGU, sir, sa Pasay. For example, sir, sa Pasay. We have this great coordination with the Pasay LGU. That's why, sir, yung mga recent accomplishments po namin, sir, sa Pasay, particularly, sir, kasama na po namin yung LGU sa panguhuli. Kasi po, tama po yun, sir. Sila yung nagbibigay ng permits and alam nila kung binigyan po nila ng permit yung isang entity. So, yun po, sir, yung ginagawa namin ngayon. And we try to make it a model
Mr.
for,
Chair, meron ka pa
for all
salita,
the...
Jose Cruz, no? Sabi mo, sila nagbibigay ng permit. Hindi na ho sila pwedeng magbigay ng permit eh. Illegal na po yun eh.
Yes, sir. Tama po, sir.
Hindi po ba?
Tama
Ibig
po, sir.
sabihin, yung pag nagbigay ang LGU ng permit, they are actually doing an illegal thing.
Yes, sir. Tama po, sir.
Okay.
Sila po, sir, nakakaalam, sir, kung halimbawa, nabigyan nila. Yung isang case po namin, sinabi nila na nabigyan namin ng permit yan and yet they operate. So automatic, sir, hinuhuli na po namin yan.
Mr. Chair, again, no? As you have also admitted, Jose Cruz, that one day this will even become a national security issue sapagkat mga foreign workers ito ng POGO na most probably, Mr. Chair, ang iba dyan, pinadala pa ng Chinese government yan sa Pilipinas di ba? I mean, you know, that could be possible. Am I right, Jose Cruz? Ibig sabihin pinabayaan na ng Chinese government yung kanilang mga citizen na magpakalat-kalat sa ating bansa. Oh, am I right, Mr. Chair? Pinabayaan na ng Chinese government. So therefore, anong pwede natin gawin dito to actually control this problem that will become bigger later on and it will somehow become a national security issue because involved na po dito ang foreign government. Jose Cruz.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, sir, tama po kayo, sir. Kadalasan po, every time we raided hubs or even the smaller POGO operations, sir, may presence po ng mga wanted persons. Nandun, may mga nahuhuli pa rin po tayong wanted persons once they were subjected to biometrics. Nalalaman po natin
I think, Mr. Chair, my question is not being answered, no? Properly. No, I'm sorry, Jose Cruz, no? Pero mukhang hindi nasagot yung tanong ko So, okay, let me ask the NBI about this. I'd like to find out the NBI. What are they? Kayo po ba involved dito o sapagkat nasa inyo na yung yung focus tungkol dito
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the most part, I join and support the report of the good General Jose Cruz when he said na wala na itong halos papeles or undocumented na ito dahil nga kinuha ito ng mga employers. Kung wala na itong papeles, undocumented na ito, they cannot leave the country. Kaya nandito lang sila, pakalat-kalat. That's one point, Mr. Chair. And to contextualize, nandito pa ho kasi yung technology, nandito pa rin yung infrastructure. The big bosses left. The persona of the big bosses left. But the workers are still very much around. They cannot now leave just easily kasi nga walang dokumento. And they cannot register legit businesses kasi nga again, walang dokumento. But there are still subsisting or like lease contracts. Yung inintroduce nila ditong technology na pagkuha ng data still remains with them. So this is being used, although sabi natin, scattered ito or splintered operations because na-raid na ng PAOCC, na-raid na ng PNP, na-raid na ng NBI, at kilala na natin yung malalaking operations, especially in Bamban and in Interlacan, in Pampanga. Now, kung wala na ho itong papeles, wala ng dokumento at hindi makapag-register at nandito pa yung workers at nandito pa yung kanilang technology, they were already forced to do not the legit POGO operations, but other scamming operations. And if the Filipino people will ask us, may ginawa ba dito ang gobyerno? Meron ho. Nakita ito ng gobyerno before the announcement of the President, yung total closure ng POGO, Congress, and we are very much thankful to Congress for this, already enacted the Anti-Financial Act Scamming, the Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act. Dito ho namin sila nahuhuli ng karamihan. Yung pagkuha nila ng datos at ginagamit nila yung identity theft at ginagamit nila sa various forms of scamming, dito po namin sila kinakasuhan. At they can already operate using mobile gadgets, iPad, laptop, at cellphone. hindi na ho ito kagaya ng dati na desktop ang operations. That is why, hindi naman po sa walang magagawa, it's very difficult for us. Admittedly, it's very difficult for us. Because then, limitado ang batas na aming pwedeng ipakilos unless, again, tama ang suggestion niyo, Mr. Chair, isang malaking super body ito with the immigration maybe on board, with the DTI on board, with the ILG on board, with DFA on board. Kasi kung huhulihin lang namin yung Chinese na walang klarong violation, not in the act of doing or engaging in financial scamming activities, kung undocumented lang, then we would need the immigration with us. Kung mahuli naman ang Chinese at walang, the foreign national, at wala namang papeles, then we would need either the immigration or the FA for that matter before they can be removed out of the country. But we will have to file the appropriate charges kung ano yung nahuli naming being committed in the act. I understand the difficulty, Mr. Chair, for the part of the NBI. We've been doing a lot of operations, and I join your observation na ito ay magiging national security problem as they may have already diversified into espionage activities. Again, they have the equipment. Again, they have the technology. Again, they have the knowledge. But government already addressed it before the total operations. Only that, nahihirapan kaming mag-adjust kasi nauuna sila. Criminals are always one step ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
let me just wrap up this scenario. No? Now, of course, the Quadcom is being heard by a lot of Filipino people. No? Ibig sabihin, humahanap ng kasagutan ang taong bayan tungkol dito. At we have to admit, Mr. Chair, that the Quadcom is quite limited to that. No? Kailangan po namin ng tulong ninyo. Now, you also admitted, RD, na talaga may difficulty. No? And you also said, Mr. Chair, that there should be a law as far as giving this an all-government approach or a super body. So again, Quadcom na ang bahala dyan na mag-isip ng law. Pero wala na po tayong panahon dyan at this point in time, di ba? Oo. So, gusto ko naman tanungin, Mr. Chair, ang immigration po natin. For example, like, hindi pa natin pwedeng aresto itong mga to sapagkat illegal aliens na ho ito. At kung hindi natin pwedeng pa-deport itong mga taon to, can we not put that in quarantine, for example? Oo. Kesa naman pakalat-kalat po sila at hindi lamang nagkakalat po ng anuman, kundi nagkakalat pa ng sakit. Mr. Chair, go ahead, immigration.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. With regards to your observation and later question po, yung una po sigurong problema dito, yung pag-locate ng mga taong ito, kagaya nung nabanggit po ng PAOCC-TF, once the big POGO hubs dissolved and then they resorted to guerrilla operations, naging undocumented na po ang mga to. And as mentioned previously by Yusek Cruz, dahil po walang mga passports ang mga to, wala po silang mga pinupuntahan. Ngayon, yung nangyayari po, kapag ganyan, kadalasan po nagtatago na lang, and then as observed, they resort to what illegal activities, they go back to the illegal activities that they've been previously engaged in. So in that case po, yung primary ano po siguro, yung coordination as mentioned with the local government authorities in locating these individuals. And when it comes to the arrest and detention of these individuals po, we have to admit po na bulk po ngayon ng mga foreign nationals are with PAOCC-PF. The Bureau of Immigration po has a very limited detention facility in Camp Bagong Diwa. And halos po lahat yata ng huli ngayon are with PAOCC-TF.
Mr. Chair, before I give this to Congressman Ako, maganda po yung sinabi niya. Pero ito hindi po kapanipaniwala, Mr. Chair, na itong mga taon to, pakalat-kalat lang, na hindi po nila alam kung saan sila pupunta. Palagay ko, meron kumukup-kup dito. At yung mga may-ari ng mga maliliit na POGO hub, alam po nila kung nasan to. At sila po ay sumusunod sa foreign government, kung sino man ito, napabayaan itong mga to para magkaroon tayo ng malaking problema. Mr. Chair, Yusek Cruz, could I be able to ask for your answer, please?
Tama po, may possibility pong ganun, sir, yung sinasabi niyo.
So, Mr. Chair, ang uling tanong ko na lang ganito. So, kung may possibility po na gano'n nangyayari, at kayo rin po nagsabi na mayroon pang 9,000 na bakalat-kalat yan, so wala pa tayong pwedeng sampulan dito? Mr. Chair.
Pwede naman po, sir, if we will be focusing our police operation dito po sa mga undocumented foreign nationals na ito, sir. Tama po, kasi may mga lugar naman po kung saan talaga makikita natin sila. Like halimbawa po, in some cases, sir, I know, sir, you are familiar with Manila, especially in 168 areas. Nung pinasara po yung mga POGO hubs natin, yung mga malalaki, napuno po yung hotel dyan sa areas ng 168. Yung tatlong hotel po doon na malalaki, yung nakapalibot sa 168, even the 168 hotel. And we also have this intel report, sir, na nagtayo rin sila ng mga small-scale POGO hubs doon. And tama po, sir, kung talagang tatrabahuhin, sir, pwede pong mahuli.
Mr. Chair, trabahuhin na natin. Di ba? I mean, para naman magkaroon po naman ng peace ang ating mga taong bayan tungkol dito. Sapagkat pag hindi po natin talaga binigyan ng seryosong trabaho ito, sisi na naman po tayo ng taong bayan. Hindi po ba, Mr. Chair? Yun lang po.
Okay. Thank you, Congressman Abante. The next, the Chair will recognize, with the indulgence of Congressman Adyong, Congressman Ako.
With your kind indulgence, Jose Cruz, tama po ba yung pagkarinig ko na problema po natin ay yung mga foreigners na pumasok dito sa ating bansa at nag-indulge sa POGO operations?
Yes, sir. Tama po.
Tapos ang naging problema po natin, nahuli nga sila, hindi pa natin may balik sila sa kanilang pinanggalingan.
Tama po, sir. May mga dokumento po tayo na kailangang ayusin. Like in the case of deportation, we need the clearance coming from the National Bureau of Investigation to check on the records, criminal records nitong mga nahuli natin. And of course, the summary deportation order coming from the Bureau of Immigration, sir. So there are documents, sir, that we need to comply with. Aside, sir, doon po sa coordination na gagawin po natin sa mga embassies concerned.
Doon din po sa mga nag-guerrilla operation sa POGO, foreigners din po ba ito?
Yes, sir.
Walang Pilipino?
Recently, sir, may mga nakita na po tayo na mga Pilipino as keyboard warriors, sir, nila. But the middle level manager ng POGO, small scale POGO operations are foreigners and the managers who work outside doon sa area. Kasi sir, medyo magulang na po sila ngayon. Lumalabas na po sila sa area unlike before na they also stayed in that area kung saan may POGO. Now, sir, remotely, ginagawa ng mga boss sa labas na lang. Ang iniiwan na lang nila is yung mga middle managers nila.
If I understood the answer of the RD Lavin a while ago, nawala po yung mga big boss ng mga POGO, pati yung mga sumusunod sa kanila, ang natira na lang, yung mga keyboard warriors. Would that be correct?
Keyboard warriors, sir, karamihan, and those middle managers. Pag sinabing middle managers kasi, sir, itong keyboard warriors are the one in charge with yung selection kung sino yung bibiktimahin nila, and then ipapasa nila sa stage 2, which is yung makikipag-communicate. Yung sa stage 4 and stage 5, which is yung transfer ng money, sir, ito na po yung mga middle managers.
You've been with law enforcement for a long time, tama po?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Naniniwala po ba kayo na yung mga foreigners hindi makapag-operate dito kung walang, kagaya ng sinabi ni Honorable Abante, kukup-kup sa kanila na Pilipino?
Sa investigation po na ginawa natin, sir, before, meron po talagang, kailangan nila, sir, nung parang guide, Filipino guides, even those involved in kidnapping, sir. Dati, they hire Filipinos as yung mag-guide sa kanila sa rota, kung paano kukunin, saan tatambay. But now, since they are familiar, sila na lang po, sir, yung gumagalaw.
So, kung naniniwala po ba kayo na kung hindi po sila pinapasok dito sa ating bansa, hindi natin problema yan?
Tama po, sir. Kasi kung if we will be strict, like in the cases of those criminals that were apprehended during POGO raids, hindi naman po, sir, makakapasok yan kung naging stricto po tayo, sir, sa pag-check pa lang, sa pagpasok pa lang, kasi may mga record na po ito bakit nakapasok dito sa atin.
And would you agree with me that yung mga in charge sa pag-regulate sa pagpasok, paninirahan at pagtrabaho dito ng mga dayuhan sa ating bansa ay government agencies din ang involved?
Pag sinabi niyo po bang government agencies, is this the agencies in our country, sir, or outside of our country?
When I say government agencies, it pertains to all government agencies. Sa pagpasok, paninirahan at pagtrabaho, hindi po ba Foreign Affairs, Bureau of Immigration, DOLE, and all others na kapag papapasok ng dayuhan dito sa ating bansa?
May kanya-kanya po silang role to play. Like, kagaya po ng sinabi natin, sir, once pumasok ka, that's sa immigration natin. And then if you apply for a work, you need visa, working visa, and that's DOLE documents, sir, ang kailangan mo, sir, and of course yung sa DFA po natin. Yung mga unang investigasyon po natin, sir, ay alam ko po, sir, alam niyo po ito, yung mga sa PORAC and Banban natin, and then those other big hubs, POGO hubs na inimbestigahan natin. There were permits, obviously, sir, na talagang pinirmahan at tinulungan ng mga Pilipinos para makapag-secure itong mga foreign nationals. And obviously, they cannot really own itong mga properties na to kung hindi sila gagamit ng cover. And doon, sir, nakita po natin yung collusion ng mga Pilipinos and these foreign nationals.
Thank you. May I ask Foreign Affairs? Ito po yung katanungan ko noon eh. Could you please give me the exact number of aliens granted visas to enter the Philippines?
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, I don't have those statistics with me right now.
Is there an agency of government who can give that?
As far as visas are concerned, entry visas, we can give you that information. I just don't have it here right now with me.
You can tell me the exact number.
I can ask my staff to dig up these statistics. I just don't have it here right now. We'll give you within the day.
Yeah.
Number of how many
Aliens
visas?
granted visas to enter the Philippines.
What period, Mr. Chair? From what
at
year?
a certain point, maibibigay niyo po ba sa akin yung numero?
Yes.
By Yusek Cruz.
May I? Okay. So, Mr. Chair, as the primary agency mandated by law to issue Philippine entry visas to foreign nationals, the DFA, through its foreign service posts, have been upholding its strict vetting procedures in its visa application processes
Madam,
to screen out
I'm not
undesirable...
questioning your vetting protocols. I'm not. Sinasabi ko lang dito na nagkakaroon po tayo ng problema. Yung tanong ko po ay, alam niyo po ba yung number of visas given to aliens?
In general,
Are you the only agency of government who can issue that?
There are other, Mr. Chair, there are other visa issuing agencies.
Now, would there be a central agency who would give me that number? Kasi kung hindi nyo maibigay sa akin, how can you monitor yung number of aliens granted visas entering this country?
Mr. Chair, the DFA issues certain types of visas to foreign nationals. There are other visa issuing agencies. For example,
I
the
know.
Economic Zone Authorities,
Economic
nag-i-issue
zones.
din po sila ng visas.
Retirement Authority.
Retirement Authority.
DTI.
DTI.
I know that. That is why I'm asking this question. Wala bang central body ang government
As
na nagko-compile ng central data nito?
As of now, there is none.
Ay
We have
magkakaloko-loko
our
nga
own
po tayo,
statistics.
madam. Di ba? Kung lahat dito sa mga agency to bigay ng entry visa without knowing kung ilan ang nai-issue ng bawat ahensya, wala tayong control. Di ba? That's a sign na wala po tayong control eh. And that is precisely the reason why may mga problema tayo. Because we cannot even monitor kung ilan ang aliens granted visa to enter this country. How much more na malaman natin kung sila ipapasok dito sa ating bansa para gumawa ng kalintikan. Would you agree with me, madam?
Mr. Chair, each visa issuing agency has their own monitoring
I know that.
mechanisms.
Kasi naimbestigan na nga namin yan eh.
Okay.
I know that. But government, since knowing this, wala pa rin ginagawa. Nobody has taken any step na para gawin na magkaroon tayo ng central database. For example, if I ask the question, sa Bureau of Immigration, after knowing all these things, nakatakas at nakatakas yung iba na hinahanap natin dito sa bansa, what have you done insofar as your protocols are concerned regarding the entry and exit of foreigners?
Mr. Chair, as regards to the entry of foreigners, I would like to classify them between those who are visa required and non-visa required. So for the visa required nationals, it's necessary that they get the appropriate visa from the diplomatic posts from they're coming from. Now, as regards those non-visa required, they can enter the country. And these individuals are subjected to formal procedures when it comes to the airports. So they're asked the appropriate questions, the purpose of their stays and such.
BI, during the Quadcom hearings, nakita po natin na may mga gusto nating mga tao na dapat mahuli pero nakakaalis. Di po ba? Meron ding sinasite yung Quadcom in contempt pero nakakaalis dito sa ating bansa. Without us, being able to take them into custody. So, after knowing all these loopholes, ano po ang nagawa ng mga ahensya ninyo?
Sir, once the Quadcom issues a contempt order and then sends the same to the Department of Justice, and the Department of Justice writes the Bureau of Immigration, we immediately put that individual in the derogatory list to monitor their movements. So as long as the input of the names in the derogatory list are timely, that individual cannot just leave the country, Your Honor.
Kayo po ay present sa karamihan ng hearing ng Quadcom, di po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. You have become a familiar figure. Pero nakita naman po ninyo siguro yung limitations, kung tawagin ko yung limitations, para maabot po natin yung katotohanan. And it is because of these limitations na hindi nagawa ng Quadcom yung kanilang dapat magawa. 100%. Di po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. And dahil dito, kayo po yung mga ahensya na dapat tumulong po sa amin para makuha po yung katotohanan. Unfortunately, may mga weak points, kung tawagin ko, yung ating mga protocols. Kaya nga ang katanungan ko, after this experience in Quadcom, meron po ba kayong mga ginawang recommendations para hindi na maulit yung mga ganito?
Yung sa mga procedures po, Your Honor, tali po kami dun sa mga batas. So, yung ginagawa lang po sa Bureau of Immigration, kapag pinadala po yung pangalan, sinicirculate na lang po namin sa mga authorized entry and exit point ang mga pangalan ng mga binibigay ng Quadcom, Your Honor. And that's about the only thing we can do, Your Honor. Yung iba pong areas na kung saan man dadaan ng mga ito, wala na po kaming control doon. Doon lang po kami sa mga authorized entry and exit points.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Acop. Let me just reiterate sa ating mga partners in government, lalong-lalo na sa executive. Ito pong initial findings ng Quadcom wherein the questions raised by Congressman Acop was already suggested even before the end of 2024. Sinabi po natin nung hearing natin, kung di ako nagkakamali, pang 10 o pang 11 pagdinig ng committee ng Quadcom, sinabi po natin doon na sana magkaroon ng isang database o isang ahensya o isang task force o isang whatever super body you want to call it, na magkaroon ng isang database ng lahat po ng records tungkol sa mga dumarating dito na mga foreigners na related sa either sa POGO or otherwise. Bakit po natin nasabi? Karamihan ng pumasok dito na Chinese citizen ay tourist. At di kalaunan, pagpasok nila dito, naging empleyado sila ng POGO. I think Dole is aware of the fact na merong ganyang sitwasyon. Kaya ngayon, nagka-problema tayo, nung nagkaroon ng crackdown on POGO at pinagbawal dito sa ating bansa, hindi na natin alam kung saan sila napunta. Kasi nga, hindi nga tayo sure kung ito ba'y tourist na nakauwi na sa kanila o hindi kaya ito nagtrabaho dito, pumasok bilang turista. So these are the things that we gave specific recommendations during the submission of our partial committee report in 2024. So dapat, huwag nyo nang hintayin na gumawa pa kami ng final report. And I think it is incumbent upon these agencies to do what is necessary. Kasi ang tanong nga, di ba, sinong nakakaalam dito among all these agencies kung ilan ba yung POGO employees? Can someone tell us, meron bang nakakaalam ilang libo, ilang daang libo ba ang talagang pumasok dito bilang empleyado ng POGO? Hanggang ngayon, we're still in the dark. We don't even know Kasi naniniwala ko na maraming pumasok dito na mga Chinese na nagtrabaho sa POGO, pagpasok nila dito, ang kanilang dokumento ay turista. Na, tanong, hinahanap natin ngayon sila. Sabi ni Yusek Gilbert Cruz, 9,000 to 10,000 Chinese citizens who were former employees of POGO hubs in the country. Andi dito pa. Diba? Now that we know na merong ganyang karami, ano ba yung dokumento nila? If we know the number, dapat alam din natin kung ano bang pumasok ba yan dito bilang turista? Meron ba tayong record sa nakauwi na yan? DOLE should also do the same, no ba? Is DOLE around? Is DOLE around? DOLE representative? Yes, sir. May we ask, can you take a seat, please? Tanong ko lang, do you have a record kung ilan talaga yung POGO employees na pumasok sa bansa? Yung yung merong working visa. Ilan yung pumasok dito na empleyado ng POGO?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. No? I'm Pao Magtoto from Dole Region 3, sir. Sir, with respect to the question po, Mr. Chair, the data that I have right now, sir, is limited only to Regional Office number 3, sir. But and limited only to all POGO establishments registered under Dole Region 3, sir. The AEP that was issued, sir, I think around 15,140, sir, for 16 POGO establishments, sir.
Only limited sa Region 3?
Region 3 only, sir.
You see, so 15,000 yan. And these are, merong AEPs yan?
These are, yes po, meron pong alien employment permits, sir.
Okay, so are they still here?
All of the AEPs, sir, were revoked nung pong tinanggalan na po ng license ng PAGCOR yung mga POGO po natin, sir.
But are you informed kung nakauwi ba sila sa kanila o nandito pakalat-kalat as borrowing the term used by Yusek Cruz?
We don't have data for that.
So wala kayong data?
Yes po.
So the moment dineclare na banned na yung POGO rito, yung 15,100 plus na nagtatrabaho sa Region 3 POGO hubs, hindi nyo na alam ano nangyari sa kanila. Kung sila ba'y nakauwi sa China o Saman o nandito pa sila.
None, sir.
And I don't know if you have coordinated closely with the immigration kung nasaan itong 15,100 na ito.
Mr. Chair, once the AEP or the alien employment permits have been revoked, sir, the order, sir, was also been transmitted, sir, to the Bureau of Immigration, sir.
So, Bureau of Immigration, would you know kung ano ng status ng 15,000 plus na yun? Nakauwi na ba yan? Andito pa? Pakalat-kalat?
I'm not sure about the status, Your Honor, but as Dole did mention, once they revoke the AEP, we also cancel the visas issued to these individuals.
So, okay. Now, the visa was canceled. The Region 3 Dole know that 15,000 yung mga yan. Nung kinancel yung visa na yon, yung working visa na yon, what was the next step? Anong ginawa?
Once the 9G visa is cancelled, Your Honor, they are downgraded to a tourist visa. And then, pag tourist visa na po yan, wala na pong control unless there is, from what I recall, yung mga former POGO po may order to leave. So they're supposed to comply with that order and leave the country before a particular date.
Okay, so merong order to leave.
Yes, Your Honor.
Issued by the Bureau of Immigration.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you monitor that 15,000 plus employees left the country?
I think they monitor them, but I don't have the statistics.
Who monitored them?
The Bureau of Immigration, Your Honor.
So wala kayong records. You cannot tell this committee now
Right now,
the referred 15,000 former POGO employees are either still in the country, wandering like tourists, or they have already left the country. Wala kayong records.
Right now, Your Honor, I don't have any records, but I can check with the office and then they can cross-check those with those who left,
So
and we can give you a
in that
figure.
case, that makes it more necessary now na magkaroon ng coordination o kung kinakailangan yung super body na yan para alam natin kung nasa saan niya mga yan. Magtuturoan kayo niyan. At the end of the day, magtuturoan kayo kung sino ang responsible, kung sino nagmo-monitor dapat dyan. Pero kung merong talagang ginawa ang mga ahensya na concerned dito, easily we can already monitor kung nasaan niya mga yan. Diba? Imagine, kailan last year pa natin binan yan. If they are tourists, I am sure that they have already, their tourist visa have already expired. Kasi you only give 6 months tourist visa, di ba?
No, Your Honor. If they're ordinary tourists, they can stay as much as, for the non-visa required, they can stay as much as 3 years here, and then the visa required, they can stay as much as 2 years, as long as they extend the visa on a monthly or by every 2 months, Your Honor.
Okay, based on your records ng immigration, meron ba nagpa-extend?
I still have to check, Your Honor.
See, those are the data that we need to know. Kasi, yes, they can stay probably more than 6 months. As you said, they can stay 2 years, 3 years, provided that they extend yung kanilang visa. Meaning, monitored ninyo kasi nagre-report sila sa inyo eh.
Assuming they do extend their
Yes, assuming they do
tourist
extend
visas,
their
Your Honor.
tourist visa.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what about those that have been identified by the PAOCC as pakalat-kalat?
As mentioned by PAOCC, Your Honor, they mentioned earlier that these individuals no longer have their passports. So if they don't have their passports, there is nowhere to stamp the extension in the visa. In the passport. So these individuals now are undocumented and might just become public charges to the government unless they are
At least one
apprehended.
information is certain. Ano yun? Na merong pakalat-kalat na undocumented kasi hindi naman sila lumapit sa inyo eh. Hindi naman
yes,
sila
Your Honor.
nagpa-extend ng kanilang tourist visa. So hanapin natin yung 9,000 na yan because they could either be criminals or they could either be spies or whatever. And again, borrowing the idea of Congressman Acop and Congressman Abante, merong threat to national security ito. So dapat kumilos kayo. You should be proactive. Diba? You have 9,000, assuming they are spies, you have 9,000 spies in the country, roaming around like tourists, getting information here and there. Baka magulat na lang tayo, yung kapitbahay natin, espiya na. So, these are the please, kailangan maging proactive tayo. I hope I was able to convey that message to all government agencies concerned. No? Kasi wag naman natin tulugan to, maghihintay lang tayo parang as if pagkatapos ng Quadcom, wala na. We want to know, we want to follow up kung ano nangyari sa mga recommendations natin. So, yes, Congressman Abante and then Congresswoman Franz Castro.
Mr. Chair, I'm not done with my time.
I'm sorry,
Actually, those
Congressman
are all
Adjong.
interjections. I'm so lenient to allow all the chairmen.
Sorry, I got the impression earlier that you're already done because...
but substantial number of the questions I would like to ask have already been asked by the chairman, but I still have one.
Okay, sige. So, with the indulgence of Congressman Abante and Congresswoman Castro, please continue with your questions. We will give the floor after Congressman Adjong to Congressman Abante.
If Chairman Abante would like to ask question germane to the last question asked by Chairman Isbarbas, I would yield to his.
Thank you, Congressman Adjong, kasi baka mawala sa isip ko yung tanong ko eh. No? But the thing is this, Mr. Chair, ito yung facts, no? As I heard all of our resource persons speak. Unang-una, I believe that the Quadcom has not been remiss in the responsibility of exposing this. We have done our part, di ba? But we are only limited to actually drafting certain bills that would address this problem by law. Ngayon, pangalawa, Mr. Chair, inamin po naman ng ating mga resource persons dito, number one, mayroong pakalat-kalat na mga almost 10,000 na mga Chinese o ano man ang kanilang foreign identity na ang karamihan dyan wala ng passport. Pangalawa, among the 10,000, meron pa din, Mr. Chair, na mga POGO hub na minamanage ng ibang mga ito. Pangatlo, inamin din natin dito na itong mga to are not recognizable. They can be recognized sapagkat nagkokontakan itong mga to eh. May mga kontak ito, may mga leader po ito eh. Pangapat, na-establish din po natin na kung sila yung mga Chinese, ginagamit ng certain Chinese government ito. Oo. Para magpakalat-kalat itong mga to. Na panglima, tinanong ko, I do not know kung sino tinanong ko dito, either the NBI or the Bureau of Immigration, kung meron tayong sapat na lugar para i-quarantine itong mga nahuhuling ito, para hindi na pakalat-kalat. So I would like to ask the Director General of the Bureau of Bucor, no? Yung Bucor, meron ba tayong lugar na pwedeng ilagay itong mga taong ito? Pag nahuli, ito, illegal aliens na ho ito eh. Illegal aliens na ito eh. Therefore, they must be arrested kung alam natin. So do we have any place for them na ilagay muna sila? Oo. Kaysa sila magpakalat-kalat at magdala ng mga sakit sa ibang mga kababayan natin.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, we have facilities that we allow the NBI and the Bureau of Immigration sa loob po ng NBP. For NBI, about mga 100 po. And sa immigration po, about 500. It's already done and they can put their detainees there.
Kayo pa ba ang may control ng Fort Magsaysay na pinagawa ng Chinese na for rehabilitation program ng mga drug addicts?
This is controlled by DOH and DND.
Pero
of course, operated by 7th Division.
ang alam ko, walang masyadong tao ron sa loob eh. And that can actually accommodate 10,000. So siguro, Mr. Chair, ang request ko lamang, dapat itong PAOCC natin, NBI, immigration, kapag napag-usapan dito yung all-government approach, magsama-sama na at ulihin itong mga taong ito na pakalat-kalat na later on ay magbibigay ng sakit sa ating mga kababayan, hulihin sila, i-quarantine, ilagay doon sa mga facilities habang sila ay naghihintay, ma-deport. Tama ho ba ako, Mr. Chair? Tama ako dahil ito, hindi katapang.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, you're right.
How about, Yusek Gilbert Cruz? Okay ba ho yung suggestion natin?
Yes, Mr.
Para
Chair.
mayroon na po tayong decision dito kasi naghihintay po ang taong bayan, pinapanood ho tayo.
Tama po yun, sir.
Okay, therefore, Mr. Chair, my proposal is that these government agencies involved now should come together as an all-government approach thing, should come together now to finally arrest these people that are pakalat-kalat, including all of those who are owners of small POGO hub, na lahat yan illegal na ngayon. And I would even think that even the LGUs that gave them permits should also be prosecuted properly. Oo. So, sa akin po, ang proposal ko dito, perhaps proposal of Quadcom, ay pag-uulihin nila ito, all government approach na po ito, maganda na po tayo nung, sabi na yung DOH, paggamit na po yung Magsaysay Rehabilitation Center, total, Chinese naman nagpagawa niyan. So, Chinese na ilagay natin dyan. You see that? So, sa akin po, that would be my proposal upang magbigay na ng closure itong problemang ito na pinag-uusapan pa natin since 2024, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po ang gusto kong sabihin.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman John, please proceed.
Still continue, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Mr. Chair, natanong naman po yung mga gusto kong malaman from BI tsaka sa DOLE. But balikan ko lang po ang si Yusek Cruz. Yusek, you said, dito po sa you presented to us yung mga illegal na nag-ooperate ng mga POGOs, no? After the executive order na ating presidente. Were you able to at least, determine kung if these illegal POGO operators are operating independently from one another or meron bang umbrella na pagsasabihin natin, sabi mo kayo may big boss hindi ba? May bang connection from one POGO operation in Pasay from the one that you have crackdown in other areas? Were that included as part of your assessment or investigation? So gusto natin malaman how they operate
Yes, Mr. Chair. May mga nakita po kami, especially in the documents during the research, may mga nakita po kami na yung mga incorporators doon sa SEC, pare-parehas po ron sa iba-ibang POGO hubs. So, kung titingnan natin, parang isang grupo lang po yung nag-ooperate.
So when you say or incorporators, we assume na meron silang articles of incorporation, right?
Yes, we're talking of big POGO hubs, sir, yung mga nauna pong hinuhuli.
Okay, pero sa ngayon, itong na-crackdown ninyo, meron kayong nakitang ganong semblance of, at least a sense of ownership or monopoly, if I may use the word, for this illegal operation of POGO to continue on in many areas.
Sa ngayon, sir,
naabot nyo pa ba yun? Hindi pa?
Inaabot po namin yun, sir, yung kung sino yung may-ari, sino yung mga nagpapatakbo. So, sa ngayon, sir, yung mga maliliit, sir, parang free for all
Ano yung free for all? So, independently?
Opo, sir. Ganun na, sir, yung nangyayari.
Okay.
Opo.
Sige. Mr. Chair, gusto kong malaman, balikan ko lang din ng gusto kong makuha sa DOLE, DOLE, pero Region 3 ka lang, no?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
But based on the operation, but your region has been in constant coordination with with other agencies insofar as POGO operation, am I correct?
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Gusto ko lang malaman kasi yung pagpasok ng mga mga workers. Kanina sabi ng BI, gusto ko malaman yung mga visas ba na nakukuha nitong mga workers na ito in POGO, is that the regular working visa that we issue or meron pang pumapasok talaga na tourist sabi nga ni Chairman ay tourist and pagdating dito kinonvert nila into working visa?
Mr. Chair, lahat po ang mga yan pumapasok as tourist and then pagdating po dito sa kanila kino-convert to a working visa.
Sa kanila kino-convert. So ibig sabihin, gusto kong malaman, is there a mechanism for us to identify or learn or know from the side of DOLE itong mga recruitment agencies, if they have, for example, local partners here that may be of help to convert these visas into a tourist visa into a working visa?
Meron bang ganun? Have you looked at that kind of angle? Kasi gusto kong malaman from... Yes, respond ka muna.
Yes, sir. Yung procedure po, kapag magko-convert from tourist to a working visa, yung 9G visa, isa po sa mga requirements dyan yung alien employment permit. Yan po, kinukuha sa lugar kung saan magtatrabaho yung foreign national. So kapag wala pong alien employment permit yung foreign national, hindi po siya makakapag-apply ng 9G visa. And then pag nag-apply po siya ng 9G visa, may petitioner po tayong tinatawag. Yung petitioner na yun yung pinaka-sponsor niya at magtatrabaho para sa kanya pag nandito na po.
Okay. Kasi nakikita ko, Mr. Chairman, they have the way to circumvent Dalo, di ba? Papasok sila dito as mga turista and then convert that here as a working visa. So parang they allow that kind of process to go on. But if you look at it, kasi based on your testimonies and based on your investigation, mukhang kung ako tatanungin mo, it's a form of false recruitment kasi papasok nila dito papasok sila dito as turista pero magko-convert sila into working visa, doon sila papasok sa mga illegal POGO operation. So I'd like to ask Dole, how do you do regular audits in terms of yung pag-accredit ng mga foreign workers dito para maiwasan itong mga para maiwasan natin itong mga foreign work permits?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Doon po sa pag-audit, Mr. Chair, meron po kami tinatawag na mga foreign national labor inspector, sir. Routinely, sir, sinecheck po namin yung mga nag-apply po sa aming mga foreign nationals at na-issuean po ng AEP. Kung doon pa rin po sila nagtatrabaho, doon sa mga principal kung saan sila supposedly nagtatrabaho, Mr. Chair. Kasi supposedly po, kung saan principal po sila nag-apply at doon po sila na-issuean ng AEP, nandun lang po supposedly sila eh. So hindi sila pwedeng palipat-lipat, Mr. Chair, unless kumuha na naman sila.
But based on the investigation, as a result of the POGO of investigation, what other means that you emplaced your office in order to avoid this kind of modus? Kasi napapasukan na nga nila yung ganitong klaseng proseso eh. So how do you recalibrate again? Because I presume this is an interagency effort. So how do we recalibrate now? From Dole, I believe you do annual audits, no? But how do you manage to recalibrate in such a way that this false recruitment will not be this POGO who actually open up their recruitment agency, pagpasok dito, visa, etc. And then dito babalik ta rin nila. And then mas lalo pang lalaki yung kanilang manpower na po pwede nilang gawing trabahante nila sa kanilang mga illegal POGO operation.
Mr. Chair, sa POGO application, Mr. Chair, actually mas stricto po yan, Mr. Chair, no? Meron lang, hindi po lahat pwedeng mag-recruit or pwedeng mag-process po ng mga AEPs natin, Mr. Chair. Meron po tinatawag tayo mga authorized personnel, sir. Yung po yung mga authorized lang ng Dole na pwedeng umayos po or mag-facilitate po ng application ng AEP po. So kung hindi naman po din sila authorized, Mr. Chair, hindi rin po sila i-allow po sa loob or sa office po namin.
Yes, BI, may gusto kang sabihin?
Yes, Your Honor. Yung pong...
You get the point I'm trying to drive at?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
yung pong actually, yung pag-convert from tourist to visa, from tourist to 9G commercial visa or any other type of visa, allowed po under the law yan na pagdating po nila dito, allowed sila na i-convert yung application, yung visa nila other than a tourist visa. Pumapayag na po yung may existing law po tayo sa ganyan. So dito po, nangyayari, kaya normal lang po talaga na papasok ang mga yan bilang turista and then pagdating po dito, saka po sila magko-convert to another type of visa.
Okay, yung pagpasok po, you say Cruz, I don't know which agency I need to ask this question. NBA, kasi gusto ko lang din po malaman. Meron pa ba kayong based on your investigation, I'm sure meron na kasing lumutaw na mga pangalan, Alice Guo, na-involve pa nga si Attorney Harry Roque and many others. Based on your investigation, may lumulutang pa ba na other names that have records? Kasi sinabi mo, this is an international network, illegal network operation. In many other countries, they have transferred their operation from the Philippines and other countries, vice versa. Are new names been popping up during your investigation that have already cases abroad? Merong pending cases abroad? Aside from yung mga nahuli na at na-identify na mga pangalan, at may nakasuhan pa ba ng mga other personalities?
May mga lumulutang pa po, sir, na pangalan, sir, na dito sa mga bagong huli natin, sir, may mga lumulutang pa rin na pangalan na nakita na natin doon sa mga nauna, sir. Ibig sabihin, sir, hindi natin sila nahuli nung una, nag-ooperate pa rin sila ngayon.
Meron din silang kaso abroad?
Meron po. Yung isa, alam ko, sir, may kaso po siya ng ganyan din, sir, sa illegal gambling. And the other one, alam ko, sir, sa money laundering.
Yung sa data sharing po natin with international DFA, do you also have that kind of mechanism and arrangement? Yung data sharing in terms of those foreigners who have pending cases abroad. How do you manage to secure this data in order that they, before they can even come in or establish operation or in business here, meron na tayong data at meron na tayong way to track them down? DFA. Kasi may sinabi kanina si Yusek, di ba? Info sharing with other countries So gusto ko lang malaman who among you, agencies, are in charge to do this, the data sharing? NBI or DFA? Sige, BI.
Sir, from the end of immigration, once a foreigner enters the country po at in-scan yung passport, yung derogatory database po ng immigration, naka-online yon sa Interpol. So kapag nandun po sa red notice yung individual or any other colored notice ng Interpol, airport pa lang po nakikita na. And then they can deny that individual entry.
Yusek, itong mga mga bagong mga pangalan, how did you find it out na meron silang may kaso ba sa nag-coordinate ba with the Interpol or tsaka nyo lang nalaman nung nahuli nyo sila dito? Kasi gusto ko malaman yung entry nila kung meron palang red tag na pa sa Interpol tapos nandito, paano sila nakapasok?
Yung isang sinusundan namin, sir, alam ko po, sir, merong naka-red flag sa Interpol ito, sir. Lumutang na lang ito, sir, nung inimbestigahan na po namin yung mid-level managers kung sino yung nagpapatakbo. So, nag-come up, sir, itong pangalan na ito.
So, nakita nyo, naka-red flag na sa Interpol, pero nakita nyo during your course of your investigation na nandito siya, nag-operate.
Yes, sir. Opo.
So, tama pa nga po yung sinasabi ni Manong Romy kanina na hindi sila mag-ooperate dito kung walang nagkukup sa kanila. Mukhang may loophole talaga sa ahensya. Kasi sabi nga ni BI, pag nandun na, pagpasok niya dito at naka-red flag sa Interpol, hindi na makakapasok yan. Pero unfortunately, based on your investigation, Yusek Cruz, meron pa talagang mga personalities na meron ng kaso abroad pero nakakapag-operate pa rin sila dito. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. Marami po tayong insidente, sir, na nahuli na mga may red notice sa ibang bansa, even Interpol, sir. Nalalaman na lang talaga natin pag nahuli na natin, sir.
Yes. Mr. Chair, if I may continue. Mr. Chair, do you remember DFA? There was last year po or 2 years ago, I don't think gusto ko lang ma-connect ito kasi yung mga personalities na lumabas, Mr. Chair, nung unang nag-investigate tayo, sila Alice Guo, yung mga incorporators, at saka sina Alante, ito yung inimbestiga po sa public accounts prior to the convening of the Quadcom. Ito ay allegedly they were able to secure their passports illegally, fraudulent, na naging from Chinese, naging national citizen, Filipino citizen sila. So, meron pong balita kasi, Mr. Chair, sa Davao del Sur na 200 plus na mga passports fictitious subject for further investigation. I'd like to know from NBI, kasi kayo po ata yung nag-investigate, what is the status of these fake passports? Because some of the major names that came out during the early stages of the investigation have connection with the Pampanga Porac POGO and other POGO operations po.
Mr. Chair, I will revert to the Honorable Adjong. I will get in touch with our regional rector in Davao, Attorney
Yes.
Abao, Your Honors, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I do not have the report on hand.
Okay, can you provide this committee an update on that? Because I think, Mr. Chair, very close yung itong kaso na yon at saka yung inimbestiga natin ng POGO. Kasi alam ko, yung nagpapa po, based on the presentation nga po ng PIDEA, kung matatandaan po natin, talagang well-connected yung POGO operation at saka yung illegal land accusation, yung mga names na lumabas na mga incorporators, na mga Chinese na posing as Filipino. So I think we also need to see how they operate down to the grassroots level. Kasi nga, tabi nga ni 9,000 plus ang out in the streets. And in fact, the SJJ Suarez has intimated to us and even recommended that we should also get the attention of the ILG so that they can also mobilize the barangay captains para makita natin kung saan sila mag-ooperate. Yes, BI.
Sir, going back to the red notice, so from the end of BI, kapag papasok po yan or mag-attempt na pumasok, nasa red notice na.
Alam po namin yan.
Pero po sir, we should realize that some of these POGO bosses have more than one passport under different names. So kapag yung nasa red notice lang po ay si A at ginamit niyang pumasok sa Pilipinas ay passport B under the name of passport C, natural po sir, wala sa red notice yan or possible na makaano po yung lumabas po yung red notice after he already entered the county.
Yun. Sorry, akala ko mag-interject. May I continue, Mr. Chair?
One more question.
Interject, please.
Before I recognize SDS Gonzales, Congressman Adjong is wrapping up, I think, his questions. So after Congressman Adjong, the chair will recognize SDS Gonzales.
Yes,
Please continue.
I think last question na lang po. Nandito po yung AMLAC. May AMLAC po tayo dito. AMLAC.
Mayroon po.
Yes, Mr. Chair, yes, I'd like to know also the flow of the operation of POGO. So nagsimula po tayo ng investigation ng POGO, nakita po din natin ang paggalang ng kanilang pera, Mr. Chair, and I'm sure pretty sure AMLA also has its own investigation without violating the yung kanyang without violating po yung bank secrecy law, Mr. Chair. I'd like to ask AMLA, how do you find or how do you help out with the investigation insofar as the movement of the flow of money of those who allegedly sourced out from the illegal POGO operation? Can you give us any update? Because AMLA has been with us since the day one we started this investigation.
Yes, yes, sir. In fact, the AMLC continues its investigations and prosecutions into the POGO operations of those persons and including operators who have been referred to the AMLC. I can tell you, no, at this point, no, that crucially, petitions for civil forfeiture have already been filed, no, involving several of these POGO operators, and AMLC had been able to freeze hundreds of millions of pesos in assets, real properties, and bank accounts in all. No? And in fact, the AMLC has also commenced money laundering complaints and cases already filed in court. If the Quadcom should be interested in updates on the status of these cases, we would be willing and ready to furnish it with the information.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. That would be all.
Okay.
I would just reserve my next question po in the next
Yes,
round.
thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Adjong. Yes, Gonzales, you're now recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just would like to ask, of course, the
Yusek Cruz.
Yusek Cruz. Yusek Cruz, nasabi mo na kailangan yung certification from the local government for their SGLG, Seal of Good Local Governance. Sabi mo kasi yung certification from LGU, from DILG, mga kailangan ng certification that there is no POGO. Tama mo ba? That there is no POGO running in the place?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, yun po yung sinasuggest namin. Just to, kasi sir, talagang for the grassroots information and intel, it is always the barangay and the local government, sir. So we suggest that kung mag-i-issue, sir, ng Seal of Good Governance, bago mag-issue, dapat mag-certify sila na walang POGO doon sa lugar. O kaya, kung meron man, naibigay nila, sir, yung informasyon.
So kung pwedeng idagdag mo na rin, Yusek, na there is also illegal gambling at saka illegal drugs sa isang lugar para at least mag-comply sila doon para makakuha sila ng SGLG. Sir Yusek?
Yes, sir. I strongly suggest din po, sir. Maganda po, sir, kasi nakita naman po natin sa investigation na ginawa ng committee, sir, na magkakakabit po yun, sir, mga sinabi niyo, sir, yung POGO, yung drugs, and even yung human trafficking cases natin.
Human trafficking. So yun lang, Mr. Chairman. Sana paki-add na lang yun. Salamat.
Okay, thank you, SDS.
Sir Chair?
Gonzales.
Sir Chair?
Congresswoman
Follow-up.
Castro, you're now
Oo.
recognized.
Yes. Follow up sana to, Mr. Chair, dun sa mga questions nyo earlier. So, tanong ko lang po doon sa BI. Hindi ko lang maintindihan, Mr. Chair. Dahil binana natin yung mga POGO hub, yung mga POGO business, na huli natin yung mga empleyado, yung mga foreign nationals na nagpunta rito, bakit po hindi immediately dineport natin yan since may mga violations sa law natin? Kasi bakit, Mr. Chair, nagtataka ako, bakit from working visa, dinowngrade pa natin yan sa tourist visa. Eh, alam naman na natin na merong mga illegal na mga ginawa yan doon sa mga POGO. So, nagtataka lang ako, Mr. Chair, bakit ganun yung patakaran?
Mr. Chair, yung pong mga workers sa POGO, hindi naman pare-pareho po yung rangko ng mga yan. So, may mga tao po dyan na they only see it as a job, but hindi yung mga kagaya ng mga higher bosses o higher personnel na well aware po sila sa operation. And then, so nangyari po, binigyan ng opportunity mag-downgrade ng mga visa ang mga yan, and then later on po, para on their own, umalis na po. Kasi yung issue rin po sa pag-alis, kung properly documented yung tao, kung hawak nila yung passport nila, and then kung may ticket na po ito para makalabas na siya ng bansa.
So, ang ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, yung mga dineport lang natin, doon sa mga nahuli nating mga POGO or yung mga establishment ay yung higher ups lang. Pero yung mga empleyado na foreign nationals, andi dito pa rin.
Yes,
kasunod na tanong, dinowngrade, nandito pa rin po hindi nyo naman na-monitor. Tapos po, yung din sa patakaran na, kasi sa ibang bansa, Mr. Chair, pag tourist ka, hindi ka naman tatagal ng 1 taon, di ba? Or 3 taon. Pero bakit dito, Mr. Chair, ang tourist natin visa ay 3 years? Di ba? Masyadong mahaba yung panahon na yon na kung sakaling gagawa sila ng hindi maganda, ay enough yung time na yon. Kaya bakit po, kaya ganon yung patakaran natin. Baka meron tayong dapat na baguhin doon. Sa ibang bansa, Mr. Chair, 3 months, 6 months, yun lang yung duration ng mga tourist. Pero ito sa atin, 3 years. So, sa labor, Mr. Chair, mamaya na yung labor. So, kayo muna sa BI po, Mr. Attorney Vicente.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
yung pong immediately na dinideport, yun po yung mga nahuhuli dito sa mga illegal POGO operation. Ito po yung mga hinuhuli, kinukulong, and then pag may mga passports na po at mga ticket, dinedeport po. Binigyan po ng pagkakataon yung mga ibang POGO operation na legal pa at that time, na and then subsequently naging illegal yung operation nila because of the pronouncement of the President, na sila na po mismo voluntarily na i-downgrade po nila yung mga visa nila. And then para later on, umalis na po sila. So may mga deadline po dito.
Yes, parang mali yung ganong patakaran, Mr. Chair. Parang may nakikita ako dong loopholes. Kaya nga yan, sinasabi ni Yusek Gilbert Cruz na maraming pakalat-kalat na mga foreign nationals na parang tourist sila kasi may visa silang tourist, and yet meron pala silang binuo na mga maliliit na mga negosyo sa POGO ulit. So parang may loopholes doon. Hindi nyo pa ba nakikita na meron tayo doong loopholes? O baka pwede nating baguhin yung mga patakaran na yon na naging workers from tourists, naging workers sila. Tapos ilang taon ba yung binibigay nating visa for workers, yung tourists? Baka pwede nating i-review, Mr. Chair, sa BI, sa DOLE, yung ganong mga patakaran po.
Yes, Mr. Chair, re-review po namin. And then I would just like to add, kasi po yung sinasabi ni Yusek Cruz kanina na pakalat-kalat na iba, he was referring to these Chinese nationals po na pagpasok nila ng bansa, kino-confiscate po ang mga passport nila ng kung sino po yung may hawak sa kanila, and then yung iba naman po yung mga legit na nakakapag-apply po ng 9G visa. So hindi po lahat ng nag-a-apply hindi po lahat ng nahuhuli dati sa mga POGO properly documented po. Yung iba po may mga 9G visa, yung iba po wala talagang papel dahil hindi po in-apply ng employer nila. So, ganun po. But we will look into your suggestion, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nga, Mr. Chair, parang tinitignan kong napakaluwag, no? Napakaluwag talaga natin, no? Kung paano nakakapasok yung mga quote-unquote na mga illegal na mga foreign nationals dito dahil yung ating mga patakaran ay masyadong maluwag. So, unang recommendation, reviewin yung pagbibigay ng visa sa tourist, no? Tourist visa. Pangalawa, kung magko-convert sila sa as workers visa, dapat meron ding duration yon o timeline. At yung tourist visa, hindi dapat 3 years. Tumatagal ng 3 years yung tourist visa. Kasi kung merong gagawing masama yan, mahaba yung time para gawin yon, no? Siyempre, Mr. Chair, tama yung recommendation nyo kanina, no, na talagang magtulong-tulong lahat na ng BI, yung PAOCC, NBI, PNP, para talaga pong mahuli talaga itong mga foreign nationals na hindi naman karapat-dapat na nandito sa ating bansa. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Meron pang idadagdag si Attorney Vicente.
Mr. Chair, yung po kasing 9G visa, yung commercial visa, limited na po naman po yung term niyan. So it's either 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. And then yung 3 years po na sinasabi ko na tourist visa, ito po yung sa mga non-visa required nationals, Japanese, British, and Americans. So mga Chinese po, limited to 2 years po ang mga yan. And then before that period ends, they have to exit the country po. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the clarification. Ay, meron pang DFA.
Thank you, Congresswoman Castro. I do wish to clarify that the Department of Foreign Affairs issues temporary visitors visas or yung tinatawag na tourist visas. And the period is usually 3 months, single entry, or 6 months up to 1 year, multiple entry. Now, hanggang doon lang po kami. Pag pumasok sila at gusto nila magpa-extend, yun na po yung mag-a-apply na po sila sa BI and they decide how long these nationals or foreign nationals can stay. So, clarification lang po kasi yung pagkakasabi yung tourist visas na 3 years. Hindi po ganon. Kami po, meron kaming set time lang na visa validity, 1 year at the most, and then it's extended by BI.
Gusto ko lang i-clarify, Mr. Chair, no, yung patakaran na gusto kong mangyari. So yun, tama yung sa DFA, meron silang ganon. Tapos yung sa BI, dapat meron ding fixed na patakaran hanggang kailan lang talaga. May extend. Sa DOLE naman or sa workers visa, hanggang kailan lang talaga may extend yung visa ng mga foreign workers. So yun lang po. Dapat pahigpitin po yung monitoring. No? Ewan ko lang kung DFA yan, BI lang yan, o yung DOLE. Pahigpitin po, Mr. Chair, yung monitoring ng mga foreign nationals. Okay, thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Congresswoman Castro. Congressman Paduano is now recognized, and then after, Congressman Junicio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ano lang to, Mr. Chairman, follow up lang dun sa mga question that was asked no, and answered by the BI. And of course, the DFA. Kasi, tama po, last year pa to yung usapin ng illegal alien, no, especially those foreign national when the POGO was banned, totally banning the POGO from the statement or policy of the President. Now, kasi kanina po, kung balikan natin, last year, malinaw po yung recommendation ng committee for the agencies, no, agencies involved in this particular issuance of visas, it's either student visa, working visa, no, or tourist visa. Now, ang problema kasi, Mr. Chairman, ay ang recommendation supposedly natin that time is for those agencies involved, no, para pag-aralan to have a more stringent and more streamlined issuances of visa. For example, ngayon, as mentioned by the DFA, hanggang 1 year lang, maximum, but of course, if an alien, no, will extend his visa for instead of 3 months or 6 months, for 1 year, pupunta sila ngayon sa BI. Ayun po ang problema. And question is, under the law, what law allows the Bureau of Immigration and all other, except for the DFA, and all other agencies to issue a visa? For example, the DOLE. The BI mentioned about before approving the alien employment permits, dapat may sponsor. Now, question is, ano yung status o who is that sponsor? Anong qualification of that sponsor? The company or a Filipino citizen?
Mr. Chair, yung pong sponsor na sinasabi ng BI po, no? Yung po yung company po na supposedly doon po siya magtatrabaho po.
Ayun yung problema. Mr. Chairman, tingnan mo for example, ngayon lang to nangyari. Of course, bigyan po natin ng credit yung President Executive during his first State of the Nation address na he declares the banning of all POGOs. No? Now, but the question is, the sponsor will be the company in which the Chinese or foreign national will apply for an alien employment permits. May problema po yun. Di ba? May problema yun. Now, ano bang role ng DOLE doon? Ministerial na lang?
No, sir. With respect po doon sa pag-apply nila ng AEP, medyo stringent po, no? Medyo mas mahigpit po ng yung pong application na process po. May mga documents pong nire-require and hindi lang po sa ministerial, Your Honor. Kapag po nakitaan na, for example, yung lampong job description, ay hindi naman po talaga, for example, masyadong discriminatory in character, pwede pong i-deny yan anytime po.
And that includes the qualification of all those foreign national applying for an alien employment permits.
That's correct, Your Honor.
But question, DFA, BI, and DOLE, what law and provision of that law that authorizes DOLE and BI to issue such? Kasi kanina, ito established ng problema. Yung sponsor is the company that will hire that foreign national. May problema tayo dito. And it was proven enough. Diba? It was proven enough that we have a problem with regards to that. Now, babalik ako ng question, what law and what provision of such law allows DOLE and BI to issue an extension of the visa that was applied and approved by the DFA, and what law and provision of law that allows Department of Labor to issue an alien employment permits, and after that, BI will issue an employment visa. BI and DFA, please.
Sir, yung source po ng BI to convert tourist visas to commercial visa ay yung Immigration Act of 1940 po. Yung po yung
1940?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was during the time, peacetime.
Yes,
before the war.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh.
So,
So, Mr. Chairman, now, from the BI mismo, sabi niya, the basis for that is 1940. And, Mr. Chairman, perhaps, from the DFA, the BI, especially the DFA and the BI, should make a recommendation for this committee, baka mahabol natin doon, Mr. Chairman, sa adoption sa plenary, with regards to the committee report that will be approved in today's hearing, Mr. Chairman, for that specific law that should be reviewed, revisit, or amended doon sa mga specific provision po. Kasi ito may problema talaga tayo dito. Napakalaki po. Dole. Now, with regards to that, is it stipulated in that law that you have just mentioned, the powers given to the Dole with regards to that law, or it is just a memorandum circular or an IRR?
yung sa Immigration Act po, it's a law, Your Honor. It's Commonwealth Act 630.
No, Commonwealth Act 630 specifically defines that with regards to the alien employment permits should be the agency. Nandun po ba sa provision ng law?
I think it was added, Your Honor, because since the BI is the primary agency.
No. What added? You amend the law?
No, Your Honor. Yung mga specific
Ayon,
requirements.
yun, ayon. Mga, no, specific, if the law never states.
It's not specific, Your Honor.
No.
So,
That is why, all the more, Mr. Chairman, that we have to review that old law. Kasi po, yung, as far as I understand, with the statement coming from the BI, it is not stipulated in very specific provision of that law, Commonwealth law. Dapat? Tama po, BI? With regards to the role or the authority from the Department of Labor?
Yes, Your Honor. It just mentioned there that the BI is authorized to convert them under Section 9G of the Immigration Act of 1940, Your Honor. When it comes to the details, since the times are changing, it would be easier to amend the requirements, whether to add or...
Okay, diretso na kita. You did not amend the law because you don't have the authority to amend the law, BI.
Yes, Your Honor. Yung mga
yung mga issuances.
Yes, Your Honor. Yung issuances.
Oh, yung issuances,
not the law,
but
Your Honor.
supposedly inconsistent with the mother law, which
Yes,
is the
Your
Commonwealth law.
Of course,
Tama?
Your Honor. Yes, Your
Now,
Honor.
ganito na lang po, Mr. Chairman, coming mismo from the BI, diretso kita, BI. What's now your recommendation with regards to that old law?
Your Honor, the House of Representatives has been very generous to amend, to pass a new Immigration Act. I think it's still pending right now with the Senate or BICAM.
And that specific issue that we are tackling today, with regards to the specific provision of such law, giving authority to the DOLE, which is none, never the provision, it is all about the issuances, specific issuances and circulars coming from the BI. Dapat po, malinaw yon in the new law, in the new amended law. Tama po ba?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I haven't read that part in that particular...
So you're not part of the deliberation at the committee level with regards to that amendments?
Not me, Your Honor. Other members, other probably or lawyers of the BI.
O ganito lang, Mr. Chairman, can I respectfully ask na lang po the resource person from the BI with regards to the inputs that was made by the BI during deliberation at the committee level and the approval of such bill. Third reading na po, di ba? Nasa third reading na yung Bureau of Immigration Law.
Tapos na yata po dito sa immigration.
Kaya nga po, paki-submit na lang po dito sa committee all the inputs that was made by the BI.
Yes,
Kasi gusto ko rin po makita kung ano talaga yung recommendation nyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Chairman, malinaw na po. No? All those authority, ang question of the PRA, BI, DFA, yung authority of the PRA to issue visa, is it also stipulated under the Commonwealth law? Kasi last year pa to pinag-usapan natin. Ang problema kasi, last year pa, etong ang daming agencies allowed to issue visas. And ngayon, ang problema natin, with all this problem facing the country, and now, sabi nga kanina ni Chairman Abante, maybe one of the states, but I do believe this is now our problem. Question of national security. And that was clearly stated in my opening remarks. Unfortunately, Chairman Abante was not present. Nilinaw ko po, it is now an imminent problem of this country. Question of national security. Now, balikan ko lang po, BI, hindi ko po kabisado, yung Commonwealth law. Nandun din po, PRA is allowed?
I think yung power po ng PRA, Your Honor, sa Republic Act, wala pong mention dun sa Commonwealth Act 650.
Wala. But of course, giving the benefit of the doubt, it might be stated in their in the law that created the PRA.
I think so, Your Honor.
Okay, anyway, but still, it still stands that the new law with regards to immigration dapat po malinaw. Coming from this representation, Mr. Chairman, I think para mas mabilis, madaling pag-check, madali yung documentation and everything, dapat isa o dalawang agency lang. It's either the DFA or the BI lang. Now, question of BI, question of the duration of such tourist visa, napakahaba po yung 3 years. Yung extension from maximum of 6 months ata or 1 year from the DFA, gawin mo yung 3 years, napakahaba po. Well, in fact, ito po yung mga POGO employees, sabihin mo, nandun pa rin sa kanila, hawak-hawak pa rin nilang visa at nagtatago. Eh, may problema po tayo. Diba? Kasi 3 years ang expiration ng kanilang visa. And 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 1 taon, marami na pong mangyayari. Diba? Kaya I do believe, Mr. Chairman, that in the absence of such amendment of the immigration law pending in the Senate and the House of Representatives, I think the BI should review no such issuances with regards to extension of tourist visa or employment visa for the next 3 years.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Mr.
Please.
Chair.
Yun lang po, no, yung recommendation ko. Now, sa DFA po, kasi, sa BI pala. Kasi, I will just take this opportunity to ask BI. Kasi there are resource persons that are cited in contempt. Previous, no? In fact, sa DFA mamaya sa AJK ko, but of course, dito na rin yung status of Miss Myla and Harry Roque. Now from the DFA. Now, BI, there is a pending contempt order for the Pangilinan spouses. Do you have a record? When was the date that the Pangilinan spouses arrived in our country? Kasi, grapevine na nakuha ko, nakapasok na raw. Prior to the termination of the Committee on Public Accounts.
Yes, Your Honor. They got back into the country on I'll check my notes, Your Honor, but they arrived in the country sometime in April of this year.
April pa. So, paano silang lumusot? They have a contempt order from this committee. Well, in fact, the case of Mayor Dolor, he was prohibited entering the country, but of course, he was apprehended by the BI with, of course, the Philippine National Police, the TIDG.
Yes, Your Honor. In the case of Mayor Dolor, Your Honor, there was a request from your committee at that time. As regards the Pangilinan spouses, there was no alert list issued by there was no request for an alert list from the DOJ coming from the committee, Your Honor.
Also, the DOJ has not communicated with the BI with regards to the alert list, but in the case of Eddie Yang, kasi magkasabay yun eh. Eddie Yang, Eddie Tayang, and the Pangilinan spouses.
Eddie Tayang po, sir, meron pong alert list yan, pero dun sa Pangilinan spouses, wala po.
DOJ. Nandito ba yung DOJ? Anyway, I want to be able to that. Please, kindly check na lang po, no?
Yes, Your
your
Honor.
records. But what is important is, sana po, nandito naman kayo sa mga committee hearings, may mga example, in the case of Harry Roque and Myla Roque, DFA, ano po yung status?
Harry Roque has only one passport, a valid regular passport, Your Honor, and that's the only document he's using right now. And this is to clarify the news article that came out recently that he holds 3 regular passports. Insofar as our records, he has only one valid passport. That's the only travel document that he's using right now.
So, active ba yung passport niya?
Mr. Chair, yes, that is the only active passport, sir.
So, anong status niya ngayon? Sa DFA, because Harry Roque is under contempt. At the same time, he's abroad.
We are waiting for the court order instructing the DFA to cancel the passport of Mr. Harry Roque, sir. So once we receive that court order instructing us to cancel his passport, then we can facilitate the cancellation of his passport.
Anyway, Chairman, with the indulgence of the members of this committee, Chairman Barbers, anyway, it's still, the case of Harry Roque is still related with the POGO. I'll just ask the DOJ the status of cases that was supposedly filed against the spouses Roque. The DOJ is present? COMSEC? Wala? DOJ? Oh, are they invited? O ba't wala sila? Baka nagpa-confine din.
Unfortunately, sir, they have not presented themselves since this morning.
O, paano yun, Chairman? Kasi we have to ballpark figure during the time is around 200,000. And now we're just talking about 10,000. Now, question. Kung totoo po yung 200,000, ilan ba talaga nakalabas na?